you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulations.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to this thing we call the Detroit Cast. Mike and Jay and Big E. How are you, my friend?
Hello, Miguel. I am pleased to be here.
You are?
Yes.
Why?
That's what I have
so
to say
bad.
at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
What else is
Anyway.
he supposed to say? You ask him what's he going to say?
One day he's going to say, I'm doing shitty, Mike, to be honest with you.
I've
And
said
here's
that before.
why.
I've said that before.
Yeah, and then it's going to just blow the room away. And we're like, wow, Jay's in a shit mood. What happened? And then you'll tell some grandiose tale about what happened to you. And so that's what I'm hoping for anyways, is that day. But instead I'm happy to be here.
Happy to be here. Please. It's a great opportunity. Looking forward to another show, gentlemen.
Yeah, it seems like you guys were just here. It's crazy, isn't that?
We were just here.
Yeah.
That's okay, though.
I almost had that thing happen with my voice.
Yeah, where you get that phlegm bubble.
Yeah,
Oh.
I caught it, though, because I knew you'd make fun of me for it. So, haha, you were thwarted at the door, sir. Speaking of the door, I want to send a quick thank you to whoever dropped off a small amount of Red Bull for
Delicious
us.
and refreshing.
Yes, it'll get us through the slim pickings these winter months where we've struggled with our Red Bull supply. I noticed there's some sugar-free ones in there. Not interested in those anymore now that I see that there's plentiful amount.
Yeah, this will get us through the week, I think. Righty?
Yeah, definitely. And one of my favorite flavors is now represented
Ooh,
again.
the yellow's back.
Yellow and purple, or the wild cherry or whatever. My
Yeah.
favorite, which is back. Thank
So-
the Lord.
We're still going to need to get our Red Bull contact.
I've been buying 99-cent Venoms for a few weeks to save off the.
That's outrageous.
I know, my
Yeah,
Lord.
That's cheap too. For those things
I-
are usually expensive.
They are. And you know what's funny? I actually thought about that the other day because I only buy a few brands, and one of them is that one because it's cheap. It's 99 cents. That's much
Yeah.
cheaper than most of them. And I've wondered is there something in it that's even worse for me because it's not, or is it really just that it is cheaper? I wonder if Monster is a little better because it's $2.50. Probably not, right? It's probably just the same.
It's just the Fago of energy drinks.
Yeah,
Is that the
maybe
deal?
it is. I
Yeah.
guess maybe it is.
No,
but-
I'm always shocked whenever I walk by these energy drinks and see how expensive they are. I was never a drinker of these before they fell into our lap here.
Yeah.
And so, what are these? $2?
$3
Yeah, that's crazy to me.
Yeah,
But it is delicious and refreshing.
they are. So you're stocked for the week, anyways. The other thing that I think we have to address this morning, right out of the gate, is an incident that happened at Radio for One Studios.
An incident that we had no knowledge of while it was occurring.
Yeah, while this very show was going about its usual,
There was a bit of a crisis.
yeah, there was an unfolding crisis upstairs that we had no knowledge of. So here's what happened. Our buddy Bill called yesterday and was like, "Hey, I wanted to talk to you guys. Do you mind if I stop by after the show and talk to you and Jay about a couple things?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." This is a guy that went to law school with Jay, and I've known for years. We've both known him for years, and so I left the door unlocked. We're down here recording and left the door unlocked so Bill could let himself in, and he came in.
He let himself in.
Yeah, did he ever? And he came in and proceeded to go right to the toilet. And
what has become the King's toilet, by the way.
yeah, the King's throne. Yeah, it's this new schedule has thrown everybody off. Usually.
Well, I will say this schedule
No one-
is when I used to be I always shit in the morning, to be honest with you. So this new schedule has made it so I don't usually get it in before I have to do it out here instead of at home.
Yeah, it's a little upsetting to me.
I
as well.
hate it. I don't like
Usually
being away from home base.
You guys don't like it. Guess who likes it less than
No,
you
dude,
guys
I'd
do?
rather have someone in my. It's not like we're going in yours personal one anyway. I'd rather have that than have to not do it at the home base. I mean, I don't
I
know.
am wrecking the powder room.
I'm changing things up. from
What?
here forward. Your bathroom is now upstairs. You have your own bathroom.
Okay.
It's much bigger. E, you stick with the one up there. I don't like the idea of you and Jay sharing seat space.
Nor
Nope.
do I. I didn't know that was happening. I thought this was E's down here.
I don't.
No.
The problem is, no, I don't like going down here because if you guys aren't in the room, I'm fine with it. But when you are in the room, I really have a thing about.
Can't
the
you
idea
go
of, like,
outside to the woods, E?
I
Like a normal
dude,
animal?
if you had an outhouse, I would go to an outhouse before I would.
We can make one though. There's plenty of foliage.
needs to
We
be a-
stick a bucket out there and you just go
There
outside.
needs to be a seat. I'm not squatting. I know that's better for you,
Get one of
supposedly,
those
from what I
camp-
hear now. But even though I hear it's better for you, but
They have those campground seats though that you can put on buckets
Yeah.
and stuff. So we'll get you one
Bucket
of those.
or a hole. We could dig a hole.
Yeah, we'll dig a hole and then you just fill in the hole.
well, and come summer months, I'm in. Once it gets to 50 degrees out, I'm in. But
It's E just turding in your backyard.
you'll have to dig I'm not digging the hole though.
Dude,
If
it's
you
a
dig the
simple
hole, I'll shit in the hole.
I'll dig the hole.
All right, Jay will dig the hole and E will shit
It's
outside.
worth it.
We'll get you a sheet or something.
Speaking of Mike's yard, man, there's a lot of down branches from the windstorm over the
Yeah,
weekend. You're gonna have to
yeah.
get to, dude.
I never said I would do the branches.
Yeah,
Although
well,
I never really
it's
finished leaves.
for discussion. It's new on the table this season. That's an easy one. That's an
Yeah,
easy
the
job.
branches are definitely considerably easier than the leaves.
Yeah.
Than the leaf task ended up being.
So anyway, Jay, I think you'll like your new throne. It's very clean. It's
Okay.
never
It's a
touched.
guest
Yeah,
bathroom
it's
or
a full bathroom, shower,
I'm on
everything
it.
upstairs. That's never touched. The
Okay.
door's closed. It remains closed all the time. Nobody uses it ever.
Perfect.
So it's
Well, then
just.
why don't I can still give mine.
I don't
over there.
want you going up there. I
Oh.
trust that Jay will leave it in the condition he found it in.
Not up there, but I'm talking up the one that it's currently being used.
Well, that's kind of the high traffic here. That's good for you. I agree.
Yeah.
I do not want to. I thought he was using down here. I had no idea.
I
we were
have no. I
crossing.
have not.
No,
been.
he's whizzing on the seat up there. He's doing all kinds of things. That's introducing foreign things to your body system that probably
That's all
aren't good,
brought.
Jay.
That's all only brought up by the new schedule because it just that just I don't know if normal people. Like God, we're talking about bowel movements at this point in timing, but that just happens to be this new schedule. Gets it. That used to be at home.
Yeah, I get a couple cups of coffee in me, and then I'm ready to go.
Yeah,
You know,
it just happens.
and you take
So-
your 15, 20-minute break to move your bowels,
hmm
read a little bit, catch up on the day's news.
Blow up the fucking house.
Yeah.
So anyway, Bill comes over last night and immediately just goes right into the bathroom and destroys it. Absolutely destroys it to the point that he courtesy flushed himself and then realized, wow, that water should be filling up in this tank more. So then he proceeds to TP the situation and then tries to flush again, at which point the whole thing vomited on him.
Dude, it bubbled over.
And just went everywhere. And so he decides, shit, I need a plunger and I don't know where to find it. So he starts treating my house like a department store and just rummaging through anything. This is all going on while we're just having a light discussion down here. He's rummaging around upstairs in different places of the house, scouring for anything he can find. So he goes downstairs and he finds a bunch of towels and decides to clean this mess with towels.
With your bath towels?
I think they were the towels that are used, like that have been cut up and are used as rags.
Well, that's a little better at least.
I suppose, except
What
those.
was he supposed to do?
I don't know, but
I know. Well,
not
I know what I
shit in
would've
the
done,
house.
but-
and so then he comes down. He finally lets us know
Hold
what's
on.
happened.
For the record, what would you have done?
I think we talked
Sauntered
about.
off
I would have
Dude.
left, dude.
Yeah.
I would have. Didn't know it. You know,
and then
you guys.
just denied it?
Well, this is what I would have done. This is exactly what I would have done. I would have, on some level, for about 30 seconds, tried to fix it, and then I've been like, crap. Left, yeah, text, give you a text, but not right away. About 20 minutes later or so, just kind of be
What
like,
would the text
hey
say?
guys, something came up. You know, sorry, I'm not going to make it. Let's try to meet up again next week.
Yeah,
Knowing
that's-
what, dude, how could you ever?
That- in my opinion, that's the only play.
And the thing is,
That's
knowing
the only play.
Well, knowing
And
that
then the
I'm
three
here,
of us would have been standing here going, I didn't do it. You do it?
Well,
No.
And then who gets
Who
blamed?
would've got
would've-
blamed?
Who would have gotten fingered?
right here, dude. No matter what I said, it would have been.
Well, Kadog was here too, and Kadog is such a weirdo that maybe we could have fingered Kadog.
No.
The king gets
I
off.
don't think
Kadog would have came up with like a whole new toilet system up there, and there'd be like a plumbing new thing. It'd be fine. It'd be like completely solved.
Here's what the problem would have been.
Kadog would not let us finger him. He wouldn't, for the record. I don't think he would.
He might have been fingered anyways.
Mm.
Here's the problem that we would have run into is because technically there would have been 4 members of the show in the house at the time,
Right.
and all of us are not guilty. So E's a terrible liar. So it would have been hard to finger E because he would have been adamant that he didn't do it. Jay's not a known liar. You would have owned that like a man,
Yeah.
a gentleman would have.
I would have been like, I killed it.
Oh my God, I absolutely you would have been proud of it. You would have
Yes.
been proud of your accomplishment. I don't know what Kadog's reaction would have been. I wouldn't have used that toilet. So I would have
Right.
not, you couldn't finger me on this.
But
So,
still,
then it might have come back to that son of a bitch, Bill. He was supposed to come over.
I'll bet you he came in
I
here.
bet he came in here, crucified the toilet, absolutely committed murder in that bathroom, and then sauntered out and sent us this bullshit
Yeah,
text.
yeah.
He probably played this out like a good lawyer, like wondering what the counter arguments were going to be.
He probably thought it through. But I give him credit for cleaning up so well.
Yeah.
And he did have, when I left, he had a bag of rags sitting on the top of his car. Like he took them home.
I
to
wonder
wash
what those
them.
were, dude.
No,
That's funny. I
He
wondered what
used the
those
washing
were.
machine down here and he did a load of laundry
Did he
last
really?
night. Yes, he did a load of
So
laundry.
what was on his car?
I don't know. Maybe
Because there
he
was
stole
some,
the rags.
yeah, there was something on his car.
I don't know. Maybe he tried to use ones that were in his car. I don't know. But he did a load of laundry, and then I had some clothes
not
in the
hear that?
dryer, and he took those out of the dryer, put them in the hamper, and then or in the basket.
Did he fold them for you?
No, he
too?
didn't fold them. But then when they were finished with their cycle, he threw them in the dryer. So they're sitting in the dryer now.
Oh.
But they're poison to me. I don't want
Oh.
to touch them.
Bill poop.
Yeah, forget it. God damn it. So now the more that I think about this probably would have come back to finger Bill.
I
in the
guess
end.
I guess maybe you're right, but I still think it'd be the move, other than cleaning that stuff up,
What would you have
'Cause
done?
he could just
I would have
not-
called for help.
because he could just deny it.
Yeah, I
Just
might
keep
come
it-
down here and grab E and have him help me clean it up.
I
If I
would've
were, if
helped
I
him.
were Bill,
No.
mid-show, I wouldn't care. I'd be like, E, let's go.
Would you
No.
have paid him $20, dude?
Mm.
Give me a hand.
No,
here.
I'd have just made him do
I'm not
it.
doing it for free, and I might not do it.
What if
like,
Jay said we can mop it up with you grabbing a handful of towels and give me a hand here, or I can use your head?
The greasy plume.
Okay, under that scenario,
I mean, what do you do there?
I guess
There
I'm
was-
mopping it up, but I'm saying if Bill comes in a real thing, if Bill came down here and said, "Dude, I need some help," and he went up there and showed me that, I'd be like, "Dude, no,
You're on your own. Yeah,
sorry."
Dude,
you did this. You fix it.
the boil over. God.
I give him credit for hanging in there and getting it done
Yeah,
like a
then-
man would do.
What about a plunger? Did he plunge? How do you?
Said he couldn't find one. He said
Yeah,
there was,
he found one. I was like, dude, there's a plunger in every bathroom.
Is that true, Mike?
Yeah, as far as I know, or in 3 of them, there is. He did eventually find one. So I don't know, man. Just a disaster. The doors are locked 24 hours a day from here forward. I'm not leaving it open for anyone anymore. I just don't trust people. It's animalistic behavior. It can't continue.
Hey, sick deals, massive inventory, and TDC love are what Zott Ford is all about. If you want an SUV and you want to spend less than $150 per month, which is lower than most people's cable bill, though the king has no cable, get your ass over to Zott Ford and Holly, where right now 2016 Ford Escape SEs are just $142 a month for 24 months. Watch TV or drive an Escape, your choice. We all know the king chose an Escape and has no cable.
Not many more details coming out just yet on the Uber driver in Kalamazoo. That has got to be one of the weirdest stories I've ever read. When you start talking about someone without a criminal history, without a history of mental illness, a guy with a family, none of it makes sense.
Yeah, to go off the rails like that. And he's killing people between driving people and then reports from the people who were passengers are like, oh my God, this guy's like running over boulevards and stuff and just acting crazy.
Well, that's really the only development with this story is that some of the people that were actually passengers, imagine how weird you would feel if you were one of the people that were picked up by this cat and driven somewhere and survived it. Because there's a real chance that you weren't going to survive that. But some of them have talking and described.
Wait, what? What?
Some
Some
of
of
them
them
talking?
Some of them are talking now.
some
What
of
did
them
I
have
say?
spoken,
Some of them are talking.
but you said some have. What did he say?
Some
Not
of
he
them,
said
some
are
of them
talking.
have talking.
Oh, sorry.
It just
Some of
struck
them
both
have-
E and I like really strange at the same time.
I'm just trying to get through it. Man.
Some of them have talking.
Some of them have.
Some of
spoken.
them have talking publicly.
It was effective communication because we knew what you meant, Mike.
That's right. So some of them have talking publicly about this now for the first time, including Matt Mellon, who I think his fiance is the one that wrote that post we read last night.
Oh, they're on Fianced.
They are on Fianced.
Mr. Mellon.
Yeah.
Mr.
Mrs.
and
Mellon.
Future Mrs. Mellon.
Mrs. Mellon, so great to have you today.
Yeah. Do you take that last name?
No.
Do you take the Mellon
Are
name?
you a hyphen Mellon then?
Yeah.
You're
I think
Jones hyphen Mellon.
I think you hyphen Mellon.
God, that's a horrible name. What about the kid? You know,
Melissa Jones hyphen Mellon. I could see that.
Dan Mellon is like whatever your kid's name is. I feel like that's bad.
Johnson Mellon.
Mm.
It's actually not that bad. Melissa Johnson Mellon. Sounds like a lawyer.
Yeah. What was her
Mrs. Mellon.
her name's Mackenzie Waite.
Mackenzie Waite Mellon.
Mackenzie Mellon.
The MM, the double M.
It's Eminem.
That's tough. Yeah. Anyway,
I think you gotta call off the wedding at this point.
he works at a local brewery, and he said he was in Jason Dalton's car just before he allegedly opened fire on several random people. He introduced himself using a different name from the one listed as the driver. He then sped through medians across the lawn, jumped out, and this guy was able to finally jump out. He was telling him to stop the car. He was finally able to jump out at a stop sign at 4:30 in the afternoon. He wouldn't stop. He was just kind of kept looking at me. Don't you want to get to your friend's house? And I'm like, I want to get there alive. Once he got to his friend's house, that's when he told Mackenzie Waite Mellon, hyphen Mellon.
And she made the Facebook post we talked about yesterday.
Exactly. A vigil was held for the victims of the shooting, blah, 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 of course. Mellon said he's happy, he's safe, but he believes there's a chance it could have been all prevented. It was pretty scary, especially to be so closely involved with it. I'm just happy I'm safe. I'm upset because I tried contacting Uber and the police and saying we needed to get this guy off the road. Another guy, Keith Black, said Dalton gave him a lift mid-massacre. Those are the people that,
yeah.
it's like, what? I mean, he's indiscriminately murdering random people. Why wouldn't he murder someone who got in his car? He stated he's lucky to be alive. Pretty shaken up this morning. So lucky. Wish I knew why he didn't pick me. Have to make something of myself now, I suppose.
Didn't Pulp Fiction, though, teach us why you don't want to shoot somebody in your own car? You got the wolf over and all that shit. It's a bitch to clean.
That's true. He didn't want to ruin his car. Apparently, he's a big car guy, too. So maybe that's what it was. Sarah Reynolds said Dalton had complained about receiving bad reviews. I asked him what it was like to be an Uber driver, and he said he's gotten some really bad reviews recently, but that they'd mostly been from drunk people he'd been running home from the bars, that maybe they didn't like the bumpy ride or something. I feel like...
Yeah, you got me, motherfucker.
I feel like lightning only strikes the same place once and that I've got a new lease on life. I need to live life to the fullest right now. All these people that feel like I need to make something myself now.
Now I need to. Before it was fine.
It's go time with this life now.
Right.
An Indianapolis man who was visiting Kalamazoo with his family said he came face to face with the guy just minutes before he was arrested. He said he had heard about the random shootings, didn't know there was an Uber connection. So his family all piles into this car. He's sitting shotgun with this guy, and it's just kind of the discussion in the car. Like, hey, there's a random shooter on the loose in Kalamazoo.
Oh, man.
My father mentioned that from the back seat. You know, the situation with the shooter, I tried... I kind of jokingly said to the driver, "You're not the shooter, are you?"
Oof.
And he gave me a sort of no response and shook his head. I said, "Are you sure?" He said, "No, I'm not. I'm just tired." And we proceeded to have a pretty normal conversation after that.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Their car ride to the Radisson Hotel was a mile and a half away. It was only 7 minutes. He said he didn't notice anything suspicious. He didn't smell any gunpowder or see a weapon. 20 minutes later, he was arrested. Isn't that crazy? They saw his picture the next morning. We're like, oh, my God, that's the dude whose car we were in. The neighbors said he knew the man had a pistol because the two of them talked about it. James Block said the police carried a bunch of boxes from his house. They've been going through his computer and collecting all that kind of stuff. He said, yeah, we would talk at the fence separating their properties. Oh, those are the worst conversations in the history of man.
Get me out of here.
Oh, dude. The conversation when you pull in your driveway and have to meet the neighbor at the fence. Woo! That's brutal, dude. I've never done the fake phone call routine more times in my life than when I lived at my Berkeley house.
They had a great episode of Always Sunny in this season where one of the guys, they try to survive living in like suburbia as opposed to the city. And they really play on that notion of those conversations with a neighbor where he's just like, hot weather we got out here. And like by the end of the week or something, Mac is just like fucking crazy. He wants to fucking kill a dude.
You ever get stuck in those conversations?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. He said he would sit and talk to Dalton at the fence separating their properties. He said he was an insurance adjuster who did
God.
Auto body damage estimates.
Oh boy,
Wow.
those must have been fucking
Titillating conversation.
Damn. Some hot shit there.
He would go about a month without mowing his lawn, but he was very meticulous with his cars. He worked at Progressive, I guess, for a while.
How can you be that meticulous with cars and then allow people in as fares? You know what I mean? Be an Uber
That
driver.
seems odd.
I think you'd be like all paranoid about it getting dirty or some shit.
Yeah. He said something out of the ordinary happened Saturday night, not long after the shootings began. It sounds like this guy went home at one point and like backed. He never backed in his driveway, but he backed in his driveway so the headlights hit the neighbor's house. And he was like, oh, that's weird. Why is he backing in like that? And he went in and then came back outside, and a couple hours later he was arrested. So he said that was a little odd, but he definitely went and saw his wife and kids at some point in there. We're still trying to figure out a motive. He's going to be arraigned today in Kalamazoo County Court or whatever.
You know what I thought about that name more again, the last name? Because we said Mrs. Mellon, but they'd be the Mellons. Like, is that, I don't know, that's funny to me.
Pointy. They would be the Mellons.
I think that's funny.
I don't like him, his giant head, or his beady little eyes.
The Mellons are coming. I don't know.
Any time I hear the Mellons, I think of Back to School.
Yeah.
That was the Rodney Dangerfield.
Really?
Yeah, Thornton Mellon.
Thornton Mellon, yeah.
He did the triple Lindy.
Yep. Oh, it's a great dive. Very impressive dive.
Incredible dive.
Yeah. That's a great movie, which still holds up too.
Does it?
Yeah, I think it does. Maybe like
not as good as 16 Candles.
Maybe like 16 Candles holds up to you.
Yeah.
To just remind you of.
I guess I can't remember a lot about. Was there Sam Kinison? That's where Sam Kinison goes off on him.
Yep.
About Nam.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that scene. I remember the triple Lindy, but I don't remember a ton else.
Robert Downey Jr. is in it.
Is he?
Yeah. The Karate Kid guy is in it. The bad guy from the Cobra Kais is in it.
Put him in a body bag, Johnny.
Yeah,
Johnny.
Okay. Is he the one that he did the move on?
Yeah.
The crane?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Johnny. Johnny's in it playing one of the swim team captains.
Okay, I remember that now.
Yeah. It's fun. I mean, it's basically just a stand-up routine for Dangerfield coming off of Caddyshack. And
wasn't there an annoying love interest in that though? Like a lady who kind of had a stupid voice and stupid hair. Am I remembering that right?
Yeah. Well, there was a couple love interest stories. There was a love interest for Dangerfield and then for his nerdy kid.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the older woman.
Yeah. Who was with the snobby dean of the school. Yeah. Snarling and drove around in his gay cars.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that movie's hilarious. Have you ever seen it?
Well, yeah, I don't think I have.
Back to School.
Yeah, no, I know about it, but I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Was Rodney Dangerfield really funny? Like at one point,
he was in Caddyshack.
Yeah,
I know that, and you're right. I think he was in Caddyshack because I've seen that movie. But I just wonder sometimes if it's something. Was he as funny as it seems like he is, or
no respect?
I just don't know. You know what I mean?
Mike and I were a little too young to really be into Rodney.
He was already gone to con.
Rodney got a late start though in comedy.
Okay,
he didn't start until he was way older.
But I think you and I were right on that edge where we're a little too young to have watched his stand-ups. But I think he had several stand-ups. I remember going to the video store when I was young, and there'd be several boxes of Rodney stand-ups.
Well, there was a lot too. Dangerfield's comedy club that Rodney was probably on the cover for. He's the one that broke Dice. Like Dice first appeared on Dangerfield's stage.
Yeah. I think I remember hearing that.
Loads of comics appeared first at Dangerfield's club.
Is he dead?
Rodney is dead, isn't he? I'm pretty sure he is.
It's gotta be.
Yeah.
We'd be hearing from him. He'd be chiming in on shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. October 2004. Wow.
Yeah.
A while ago.
Sometimes these things just happen.
Isn't that sad on some level?
That's a busy part of my life.
Oh, I know, but still, isn't it sad on some level that a guy like that is like, he's been dead for that long and you're really just like,
dude, if you went down the list,
I'm sure
you could literally read off names, be like alive or dead, and you'd be like,
hard to say.
Yeah, you'd be shocked at how often you go, I think he's dead.
Was it Leslie Nielsen that he announced the other day? He died. We're like, oh no shit! Wow. That's big news.
Kellogg's like 10 years ago. Oh wow, Huh.
Well, I was right. I mean, he
Heartbreaking.
did die.
Is there a vigil coming up for him or something?
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I'd be interested
I
to
just-
see what you think of that movie. Maybe that should
Do
be
you
your
have it or
homework.
no? Because I doubt that's going to be on Netflix. So
It might be on Netflix,
I mean,
actually.
I'll check it out. See if it is.
Yeah. The director of the FBI has posted an open letter to Apple.
Yeah, they're starting to try this issue in the court of public opinion, aren't they?
Yes. Yep. Trying to get them to comply with the judge's order to unlock the iPhone belonging to the San Bernardino shooter Saeed Farouk. It goes on to say James Comey's letter to Apple says the litigation isn't about trying to set a precedent or send any kind of message. It's about the victims and
It
justice.
may not be about trying to set a precedent, but it may in fact set a precedent.
Yeah. I would think it would set a precedent. He's trying to really lean on the damage that was caused as a result.
Well, he's trying to like reframe it like, hey, don't forget what this is about. It's not about this overarching privacy thing. It's about protecting America and getting justice for the victims.
14 people were slaughtered and many more had their lives and bodies ruined. We owe them a thorough and professional investigation. The American people should expect nothing less from the FBI. The relief we seek is limited and its value increasingly obsolete because of the technology continues because that technology continues to evolve. We simply want the chance with a search warrant to try to guess the terrorist passcode without the phone essentially self-destructing and without it taking a decade to guess correctly. That's it. We don't want to break anyone's encryption or set a master key loose on the land. I hope thoughtful people will take the time to understand that. Maybe the phone holds the clue to finding more terrorists. Maybe it doesn't. But we want to look at the survivors in the eye, ourselves in the mirror. And we won't be able to look ourselves in the mirror if we don't follow this lead. Although the case is about the innocents attacked in San Bernardino, it does highlight that we have awesome new technology that creates serious tension between two values we all treasure, privacy and safety, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah.
You know, our buddy Eric Ellenbrook chimes in on this. He's a nerd. He's a nerd in the know. And by the way, if anybody needs website work out there, he's the guy who did the lion's share of our website, and he's at DetroitWebDesigner.net. Whether you're looking for full-scale design and development or just simple fixes and tweaks, he's super easy to work with. So,
yeah, he was a joy to work with, actually.
Yeah. So, help out Eric. He's a friend of the show for sure. He writes in, guys, in regard to Apple decrypting the San Bernardino telephone, I have to say that what you're hearing is mostly speculation. This is long, but hear me out. Kadog explained the situation pretty eloquently. It would have taken nearly forever to try and crack the phone's password by brute force, trying every password combination using a supercomputer over and over. So that's not an option. What the government is asking for is for Apple to create a custom operating system which would allow a back entrance into the phone. That could be something as simple as a passcode for the back-end user, like Kadog suggested, or something more complex. Imagine you have the password 1234, but every iPhone has the password 9999. This is an example of a very basic backdoor. Obviously, Apple wouldn't make it this easy, but we'll touch on that. Mike, you're right. The software could be developed in tiers, but guess what? Software is already developed in tiers. I think I mentioned that. Actually.
Yeah, you did.
There are
stupid thought anyway, but
there are
I don't
different.
want credit for that.
You don't want that one. There are different divisions
have
who
that
work on different aspects of every large bit of software in use today. That wouldn't be any different. Well, it could be if you wanted it to be.
Wait, say that. What was that?
He says it's developed in tiers already.
Yeah, but you're talking about tiers where they don't even know who's doing.
Yeah, where
others.
they intentionally keep people in the dark. I don't know. I'm relating something I read.
Yeah.
From somebody who was arguing that Apple ought to do this.
Okay.
So Ellenbrook saying, it's already developed in tiers, and if you wanted to figure out who did what part, you could, I guess is his suggestion.
Sure.
Although you guys are correct that it would be dangerous if the software got into the wrong hands. That is not the problem. The government has been pressing for backdoors to devices well before San Bernardino shooting. Do a quick Google search. The government doesn't care about this phone. They care about having this backdoor implemented in all Apple software on the market, granting them access to any phone they want. As soon as that happens, if they aren't interested in that, they would do what I said and just say, here's a phone, do whatever you have to do with it, destroy it, don't give it back to us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they haven't apparently done that. As soon as that happens, anyone who has interest and knowledge will be able to read the source code, figure out what Apple has done in regard to the back door, and then anyone will be able to get into any phone. This is akin to jailbreaking an iPhone or rooting an Android device. Have you ever heard those terms?
Jailbreak, yes.
Ask Kadog
allows
about
you to get
that.
free apps.
Yeah,
and
jailbreaking allows users to put any type of app they want on their phone, not just apps from the App Store. So
right, and some of the apps from the App Store as well for free if it's the same as it was years ago, because I had a jailbroken phone. The problem is they send out updates all the time.
Yeah.
And those updates, you need a new jailbreak to get.
Yeah, that's what he says. Every time a new operating system is released, 6, 7, 8, etc., people read through the source code and figure out a workaround to jailbreak their phone again. They have to do this because Apple changes their source code to combat the previous exploit, which allowed the device to be jailbroken. Generally, an operating system is released, and within a day or two, people have figured out how to jailbreak it, and there are instructions all over the internet. A backdoor would be no different. This isn't a case of the software getting in the wrong hands. It's the case of the software being on every device. This is not good. I'm sorry, but as conspiratorial as this sounds, this is one step closer to 1984, and I'm not okay with it, even in the name of, quote, national security.
Yeah. You know, that seems to be the sentiment from nerds in mass. And I trust them more than I do James Comey at the FBI, who wants that information. Right. You know, I don't trust that he fully understands what he's asking for. Not that I do either, but I trust when the nerds say, look, you opening the door to this creates a tremendous problem. And it creates an equal problem when you're talking about internationally. Like there are people that will, you know, that's what they do all day long, is dissect this shit and try to figure out how to do this. If you create a path for it to be done, they will figure it out. And that's a real problem. And I don't know that the FBI fully understands that. Maybe they do, and that doesn't surprise me what he's saying. I mean, it makes perfect sense that the FBI, of course, dude, if they can't get into your phone, think about every crime that's committed and how dumb people are with their phones. I mean, people get busted more because of their phones. So if every time there's a big case that they want to get into that phone for, you can see why it's in their best interest to be able to get into the back end of someone's phone. You can see why the FBI would want to be able to lean on that and set precedent.
Yeah, and maybe this isn't the case that is like the facts that are going to be compelling enough to set the precedent. Like, you can imagine facts where people would be on the side of the government. Like, yeah, we need that. We need that information off that phone. This is like we talked about last week. Like, there's going to be a nuclear device that goes off in New York City, and the answers are on this phone. Break this phone, Apple. You've got to do it.
Yeah,
you can imagine that, right?
I was just going to ask you, how would you feel? Because I know you're on the fence either way, so maybe you're a bad person to ask. But how would Eric Ellenbrook feel if we knew 9/11 there was a countdown and it was going to happen in a week, and this phone they really honestly believed?
You know for certain if you break in this phone, it could save 5,000 people.
Yeah.
Is that enough? How about 10,000?
Is that what's it worth?
Yeah.
You know, you can't undo San Bernardino. You can't undo 9/11. But if you could see something coming down the road.
But some people would probably say, hey, the toothpaste out of the tube then, and that has devastating effect.
Yeah. Now you could affect billions of people, not just 5,000. You know, I mean, we'll think about them. We'll do the vigils and all that. We'll set up memorials.
Mylar, everything.
Yeah, everything. Teddy bears, Mylar. We'll hook the families up. All that shit. But you're not getting the back door. So
it kind of makes me think about like the bailout of the auto industry. Like I just philosophically am against that generally, you know?
Yeah.
Like, capitalism, let things take its course and water will find its level. But when it hit me personally, like in our back door, I was like, bail them out, bail them out, save this city, save this region.
Yeah.
Right.
Which would have destroyed Michigan as we know it.
Yeah. So at some point I would think that things would sway in favor of the government in this sort of circumstance.
Yeah.
But this isn't the compelling case. This case is done. These people are dead. Yes, we all would like justice. We all have a natural curiosity as to who those guys were talking to. It maybe could be actionable intelligence, but it could be nothing.
Yeah.
There might not be anything.
Yeah.
And so under these circumstances, it's easy, I think, for a lot of people to go, no way, government, stay the hell out of this.
Yeah. And it shows the level of distrust just on the whole.
As there should be.
Yeah.
You know, you should generally distrust.
Yeah. Yeah.
And think that they will try to use this as precedent going forward. But I don't know, man. It's tough. As I said before, on the fence with that one.
Yeah.
But the nerds are all over it, and the nerds say don't do it.
Yeah.
Because my feeling is the reason I'm on the fence, I feel like there should be a way where it can be kept underground, but apparently these nerds are like, no, man, once you do that, somebody's going to squeal. Somebody's going to give that piece of it to somebody else. Somebody's going to use it. So if that's what they say, I guess I have no reason to disregard that. Who's calling you, dude?
I don't know. I'm getting Twitter followers. Sorry. and I had my.
Oh,
Speaking of that, where are we?
is that what you're getting?
at
Are all those
Walters.
followers, or are they just
At Walters Radio, if you're interested.
those are
in
all
following.
new followers? That's what they were. They weren't just old tweets
That was a notification.
of a what? Of a tweet, a favorite, or a retweet, probably.
At
That-
J Detroit Cast.
That 3 people started following me this
Oh,
morning. So
really?
I don't know. I mean, take it for what it is.
So what are you up to now?
Trey Wheeler is now following me. TFT Greater Detroit is now following me. So yeah, I mean, it's been a busy day around here at Radio for One Studios. I'm just
What do you
inundated
have,
with
E?
followers.
You
I
got
don't-
into 700 yet?
no,
Or
not yet.
Ooh, what are you at?
3,028.
Hmm.
Just put out some compelling content.
I'm barely ahead of you. I've got over 3,000, but not much further. E, you're caboosing it. For
I don't
us.
know what to do, dude. I'm
You're
doing
running the
anything.
caboose on this
Right,
train, but
right.
that's all right. You know,
Someone
getting
has to
some
be last.
serious lag
I
time.
don't like the
between-
sound of that. He's running the caboose on our train.
Well, he's missing a couple wheels and he's just kind of being dragged. I just picture sparks flying off the tracks as we're carrying Biggie's mangled cart down the track as he cabooses this ship.
Pulling him along like
Yeah.
usual.
I don't know. What are you gonna do?
What are you at now? Did you say 600 and
686.
I'll follow you.
Sorry
I'll go ahead and follow you. I noticed I wasn't.
I would. I'm not.
am I following? If I'm not following you, I'll
All
follow
right.
you too.
I
That'll
don't
get you up
need
to
your pity likes.
650 or so. That's good.
I don't need your pity fouls.
I mean, if anybody wants to pity follow Biggie, it's at Biggie Detroit Cast, and you can follow, of course, at J Detroit Cast and at Walters Radio. Please do. Obviously, you want to follow Jay and I most, but if you feel
Obviously.
a pity follow, another couple guys that are asking you to follow them,
I saw this.
a couple murderers.
How crazy this is getting
Sign
now.
of the times, man.
I know it is. Yeah.
Yeah, a couple guys charged with the fatal shooting of a teenage boy in a bowling alley in South Carolina. Asked the court to follow them on social media. Dennis Gibbs, he's 19. Albert Taylor's 22. They noticed the camera in the courtroom, and so they face the camera and they're like, "What's up, yo? Will you follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and SoundCloud?" Gibbs says, and then the other one's like, "Follow me on Instagram and Snapchat, yo."
Wow, man. That is so bad.
Up for
Yeah.
murder.
The duo face murder, assault, and weapons possession charges for shooting Kejuan Brown to death at Tri-City Lanes Bowling Alley in South Carolina. Jamari Fair.
Wait,
and,
you said
and-
Kejuan?
yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. I almost named Russell Kejuan.
Really?
Yeah, it was close. It was like Russell
That's
or
right at the running
Kejuan.
back.
Kejuan Russell.
Yeah.
What happened? Did
Flip
Gab?
the coin.
Oh,
Yeah.
because Gab. I know Gab was pushing for Kejuan
She
big
loves,
time.
yeah.
Yeah. Another 15-year-old. They haven't named him yet, but so there's 4 people that are suspected of this. They were apprehended shortly after the shooting after a witness, of course, ID'd their car. Was like, yeah, it was these assholes.
Lots of bad shit goes down at bowling alleys.
Really?
Yeah. You ever notice that? No?
Why? Well,
It's just a gathering place, I think. Lots of fights take place and shit.
which is what this is supposed to be. Like, oh yeah, what was his name?
Kejuan.
Kejuan. They're like, yeah, Kejuan, meet us at the bowling alley and we'll get it on. We'll rumble. And so Kejuan shows up and they killed him. They shot him. Nice guys.
Rumble. You guys
Yeah.
seen The Outsiders? Speaking of rumbling,
If I did, it was years ago.
It's
Yeah.
dude, it's an incredible cast.
Rob Lowe.
C. Thomas Howell, Rob Lowe, got the Karate Kid in there. Ralph
Is that Thurston's
Macchio.
brother?
You've got
C. Thomas Howell. Is
you've
he?
got Swayze. You've got Tom Cruise.
Wow.
Yeah, it's an incredible cast. No, E, you never seen that?
I've never seen this.
my
But
my
it- but it-
boys have been. It's like a required reading in I don't know
Really?
8th grade or something, 7th grade,
Really?
and so they've seen the movie at school too.
Huh.
That made me the Rumble reminded me of that. You don't remember like the
No.
big Rumble scene in the
I don't know if I saw it. There's a real gap in my movie watching in those days.
yeah there must. What were you
For some
doing?
reason. I don't know.
You missed like 1984 through 1988 or something.
Yeah. Something like that.
Something happened to you.
Yeah, The Outsiders is gone. 16
No,
Candles
16
never
Can-
made it
yeah.
in.
And
Yeah.
then the Matrix, like fast forward to 2000, and you're like, no
Yeah.
Matrix.
I was just like, nerds. I didn't care.
Huh.
Yeah. But I mean, don't act like that's crazy. I mean, you went from
Oh,
1990 to like last week.
yes.
Got that whole gap there where,
Star Wars, The Revenant, and Creed were like, wow, man, I saw 3 movies within
yeah.
3 months.
Yeah. Yeah. What a shit story, though, man. Murder and then asking for followers. Can you do Twitter in jail? How do you
I
tweet in
guess.
jail?
You
have-
guess how?
If you have I don't know if they have internet access or they get a computer access like once a.
Why would we give? Why?
But we might. I'm saying we might. I don't
We
know.
might. You're right, dude.
Yeah,
Give them
wouldn't surprise
TVs
me.
and shit, and I don't get why they get that.
Like once a week they get to sit down for maybe like an hour on internet time. I don't know that they do, but they could.
Yeah, what's his name? The Patriots tight end that's in jail. He's got a TV in his cell. He watches all the Patriots
Aaron
games.
Hernandez.
Him and his,
Yeah.
him and his boys. Watching
Yeah,
his boys.
I watch my homies every week. Yeah, why? So anyway, maybe give him a follow. Maybe you'll get a follow back, E. If you follow them, maybe they'll follow you
what
back.
are their names
Wonder
again?
I wonder what. Yeah, I'd have to find out what is.
Here, E. See if you can give Danny Gibbs a follow. Maybe he'll follow you back. Give you updates. Does he have the blue check mark? Is he confirmed? Do we know?
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough one. You're right.
Yeah, they didn't give their Twitter handles or anything, so
Yeah.
I don't know. But if you can find them, maybe give them a follow. The one of the moms whose kid was paralyzed from Ethan Couch.
Affluenza teen.
Yeah, your favorite story of the year.
Hate this kid.
Yeah, she's spoken out talking about the hell they've gone through.
So this is one of the kids who was in the truck with him, or
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he was in the bed of the truck. Sergio Molina. He's now 18. This happened when he was 15, so 3 years ago. He was tossed out of the bed of the truck when he careened into the 4 people on the side of the road. Sergio went from being a talented soccer player with his life ahead of him to being wheelchair bound, paralyzed from the neck down, and only able to communicate by blinking.
oh god,
You know where I stand on this. I think you just got a white
you want to
flag
pillow
it.
over the over the face for sure.
in the, no offense to Sergio, but in a blink of an eye, literally. It's like done, delete. No, I do not want to sit like this for the rest of my life
A blink of the eye.
and just blink at you responses. No.
Miguel, do you want me to suffocate you with this pillow? Blink twice if yes. Blink, blink.
See, I would fuck with you. I'd be like, Jay, do you want me to keep you alive by not suffocating your face with this pillow? Blink 643 times if the answer is yes. You want to be left alone.
Or you throw a
blink
bunch of double
once if you want
negatives at me. If you don't want me to not suffocate you,
Blink
wait, I
700
don't want
times.
you to not suffocate me.
Trying to keep your eyes open. That's one.
My eyes are stinging.
That's one blink. 643. I've got all day, Jay. Go ahead. 3 years later, he clearly blinked 643 times. Clearly.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Poor kid.
I'm going on record right now. I've said it before. I mean,
You are clearly on the record is clear.
yeah. I mean, if for
How you
whatever
feel about
reason
this?
I've got a swollen gland in my throat and it's making me struggle to communicate, just assume that it's best for all parties involved. Just pillow over the face, however you want to do it.
Goodbye, sweet prince. Goodbye.
You weren't meant for this world. Shh. It'll be
Your
over
pain
soon.
is over. Your pain is over,
And then
Miguel.
stop, just be a dick halfway through. Are you sure? Okay. Shh. Are you still sure? Pull the pillow up. Shh. Be over soon. Unless you want me to stop. No? Okay. Shh. Play that game with me for hours. So anyway, Sergio, he was 15 at the time, did not have health insurance, was chucked out of the hospital after a month. They're like, you don't have money for us? And they literally took him in his bed and just kind of bounced him out the door and whoop, they pushed him out to his family.
It's like a cart at Kroger cart corral. You're just like,
yeah.
let it fly the
Just
last eight yards or so.
Oh, every time, right?
Yeah.
You know, you hope you don't get that one with a wobbly wheel that throws it off track. But yeah, you just kind of line it up best you can and send it on its way. Just sounds like what they did
Isn't
with
that strangely
Sergio.
satisfying
Yes.
as you let it go and then you
Yes.
hear it rock into the other carts? You're
Yeah.
like, it's not going anywhere. It's not going to hurt anybody.
Yep.
Yes, I don't know
Perfect.
why it is, but you're right. It is.
I do that sometimes. I'll see like I'll pull into the, Kroger or wherever, and I'll see, oh my God, wow, look at that prime spot in this in this packed parking lot. Look at that one glowing spot up front. It's available, and I'll pull around and see, some asshole left a cart in the middle of this parking spot. Well, how am I
Take
going to
care of
deal with
that.
that? And I just kind of gingerly pull my car forward and boom, and just push that son of a bitch forward.
Yeah, I've done that. I've
Yeah.
done that for sure.
Not getting out of the car to move it,
No.
but I will drive that son of a bitch forward
No, yeah, I have
and then
done
just
that.
park right there.
That's one of the great parts about having a Manny or a Russell. Manny,
Ah,
jump out and move that cart.
That's great.
Mhm.
Having slaves is the
Oh,
shit.
it really is.
Why did
Comes
we
in
go
handy.
away from that?
Comes in handy.
I'm telling you, man. I need to borrow your slaves.
Anytime.
When is the point?
anytime.
There's got to be a point where they're going to start rebelling at some point against stuff like that, like
Yeah, you
against the
just get
cards.
more slaves. I mean, you're working on the Wee Witch, right?
Oh, that little wee witch.
Nah.
Has anyone adopted him yet?
I don't know. You're not bringing a sorcerer into this house, Jay. I'm telling you, you're not.
Did he even have a name?
Wee Witch. I'm the
No,
Wee
I'm
Witch.
thinking about how to Google this kid or figure out where this kid is. I seriously want him. If nobody else
Marvin. I thought his
has
name was
already
Marvin.
taken it, I
Yeah,
want
it was
little
something
Marvin.
like Marvin or yeah.
Starvin Marvin was his name. I don't know. I Google Wee Witch. I don't know what'll come up if we Google.
Witch.
Look at that Wee Witch. Maybe it'll
Do
pop
we have a
up.
name of the organization
Well,
that lady was with or
it's-
whatever?
The article's still behind you.
Yeah, there you go.
Look at that little wee witch.
Sorcerer.
He's so cute.
Could he use his
Damn
magic
it.
powers to move carts? Could he just wave his wand?
To grow an ass.
Yeah.
the
Could Gab give him
African-
Could Gab get him an ass
Yeah.
with some work? I mean, if
Do
you
some
would,
squats. African Children's Aid Education and Development Foundation. The ACAEDF.
That's too
Yeah.
many letters.
yeah, I'm out. Too much work already.
He's a strong little boy, she says, despite the lack of an ass.
Yeah, he's strong in what way? He's not squatting anything.
Look at
that wee witch. Look at that little
I want that.
sorcerer.
He can't be more than 20 inches high.
He's gonna get bigger. He is.
Hmm.
Should we look into it for real
Yeah.
and see? Wee witch, canless witch. Anyway, Sergio was just wheeled out of that hospital. They were just like, bye bye, you, and just kind of sent him packing on his way. They say his brother gave an emotional speech over the weekend talking about the round the clock care that this guy needs. What you see here today, this is my brother Sergio Molina. This is how he will live for the rest of his life. Take a look, y'all. Y'all ain't even gone to my house yet. You haven't been to my house to see every day what we had to do to my brother to get him to stay stable like this, alive, breathing. The reason we're doing this is so you can see that we need help. The Couch family got so much money, but they can't pay for nothing. They need to pay. They need to fund something. We need some help. There's possibilities to get him back. Couch family paid nothing towards the cost of his care immediately after the crash. They did give him $2 million at one point, though.
No shit.
Yeah. They were ordered to pay a couple $1 million in a settlement. The first 6 months of care cost the family $1 million, and Ms. Lemus has had to quit her job to look after her disabled son.
Is that possible? The first 6 months of care? Like, are they like
Yeah,
redoing
probably.
their house and shit? And they must have to do certain things to their home to have it
Oh,
equipped
yeah.
to care for this kid.
Yeah.
But if you're telling me like every 6 months you're going to spend $1 million,
And then you got
I don't think so, man.
You got to get a badass new whip to transport him and shit. for
True.
Hospital visits.
True.
I mean, right?
Big ass pimped out Econo line.
Hell yes. It's the only way to do it.
Hey, are you moving or live far away from Radio for One Studios but want to support the Detroit Cast?
Yes.
Call Chris Stajelski of Remax Suburban and she will refer you to an excellent realtor in your area anywhere in the country. Check out Krista's website at kristasellshouses.com or call her anytime, virtually anytime at 586-918-0900 for more details.
I was looking at Facebook over the weekend and she got some award.
Yeah?
Ms. Jiski.
Ms. Jiski got some award and shit for great service and being hot or something. I don't know.
Excellent realty.
Yes. And everyone was like, oh my God, congratulations.
Oh my God, you deserve it. Oh my God.
Best realtor ever.
You so deserve this.
Oh my
Our
God.
girlfriend.
And then of course mixed in with all the bullshit like, oh my God, awesome. You're
I'm
the
going to come
greatest.
on your
It's like,
shoes.
Yeah, Ms. Jiski, did you go buy yourself some new pumps and shit?
It has to be so utterly confusing to like past family and friends that haven't talked to her in a while. Like,
Look at
why
that.
is this asshole talking about jacking off on your shoes?
Congrats, Krista. You're a natural at everything you do. Your personality energy is just amazing.
Oh my God.
And also, my dad, you're beautiful.
What do the other ones say?
What idiots. You're so sweet. I miss you. Congratulations. That's awesome. All from chicks.
So much.
Oh my God, you're awesome.
Congratulations. You're so sweet. LUGAUMB, whatever that means. Congratulations. You totally deserve it. Congrats. You deserve it.
I'm just saying that.
How
I
do
have no
they
idea
know?
what you've been doing.
How
at
do
work.
they know that they deserve it?
You
How do
know,
we know what the other realtors were like? How do we know that she sold
They have
enough?
nothing to compare it to.
nothing.
So well deserved, says one.
Yeah.
So well
These are
deserved.
people that just got like shit faced with her on a random week and are like, oh my God, she's so much fun. You totally deserve this.
Congratulations, a true professional. Congratulations, beautiful. All these remarks. What is her good look? It's funny, by the way, that females want to this whole thing about looks, but like, what does congratulations for this award and her looks have anything to do with
Yeah.
it? Why should that matter?
Because they're also damn self-conscious. They know that, if I want to say something nice to a woman,
Oh my God,
gotta
great
mention her
tits.
looks.
Oh my God, cute face.
This one, all caps. So proud of you.
So how many O's?
Love you. What's up?
How many O's in so? It means,
3.
well,
3
it's kind of,
doesn't sound like you're
you
that
need
proud.
4 or 5.
SOO?
S
That could be a typo.
SOOO. Or no, 3 O's. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Hmm.
Love you to
That's a-
pieces. XOXO. Congratulations. 6 exclamation points.
And then
Ridiculous.
mixed in there.
Yeah, go buy yourself a nice pair of pumps and shit, Miss Jesky.
Yeah, someone did say Jelski's a gamer. There needs to be something here about cum. That's maybe I'll throw it in there.
Anyway, well, congratulations to her. Well deserved. You're awesome.
Oh my
Christus
God, she so
Jelski.
deserved
Oh
it.
my
Best realtor
God.
ever.
I am so proud of you. So proud of you.
These idiots. God, idiots.
Or family
Jelski.
members.
I know.
Or proud family members. Whatever. Aaron Andrews, our friend Aaron Andrews
Oh yeah.
from Fox. She's still on Fox, right?
Great
She's not on ESPN.
broadcaster.
She's actually not bad.
Really?
Yeah, she's okay as far as a chick getting into that field. She doesn't bother me as much.
She, of course, started out as the ESPN sideline reporter, right?
That's right.
So what does she do? Is she like behind a desk now?
Did you shut his mic off?
I
you
hit the
son of a
wrong
bitch?
button for 1 second.
Is she behind a desk?
She might do something behind a desk, but she still does field reports,
Does
doesn't
she?
she? I think so.
I don't know.
She's headed back to Nashville today.
Ooh, the scene of the crime.
Yeah, the negligence lawsuit begins today. She's seeking $75 million.
What?
How do
Yeah.
you really put a price tag on it, Mike?
Yeah.
I mean,
I
it's
can.
probably conservative.
People saw me dancing around like a goofy chick and saw my titties.
And it helped my career massively.
Yeah. I mean,
It vaulted
Dude.
me into superstardom.
you can absolutely argue that this was the single greatest move in her career.
Yeah.
Embarrassing, devastating, single greatest.
Put
thing.
her on the map.
Not on Dancing with the
Absolutely.
Stars without it.
No, hell
Unquestionably.
no. No, she is unknown outside the sports world, if not for Flash and her vagine, in this manner.
She's not banging Max from Dancing with the Stars without it, right? E?
Is that who she was banging?
I think so.
Mm.
Don't want
She
to speculate.
this goes back to 2008. She was covering Vanderbilt football game, and she accuses the hotel and others of allowing David Barrett, who was 50 years old at the time, to book rooms next to hers, rig peepholes, and film videos of her changing clothes. He then posted those videos on the internet, which we all got to see. Her lawsuit accuses the Marriott of negligence, infliction of emotional distress, and invasion of privacy. Andrews also sued Marriott International, but the judge threw that out. I was like, nah, Marriott International had nothing to do with this. Leave them alone. They're not responsible for security at a local hotel chain. They released a statement, with sympathy and all that shit for Andrews' ordeal. But then they quickly said it was a third party who was responsible. We have maintained since this matter first came to our attention, however, Marriott International was not responsible for what happened to Ms. Andrews.
What did even the hotel do to make them responsible? Like, I don't know the facts of this case, but the guy drill a peephole.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's
how do
it's
you
an
stop
unfortunate
a third party
thing.
from doing something like that if he's just a guy who rents a room?
I mean, what are you suggesting that they install cameras in every room to make sure that tomfoolery like this
that guy's
doesn't
got a
happen?
drill out.
Like, what do
He's
you?
drilling a hole.
Yeah, what do you expect them to do?
Oh no,
I don't understand what you expect.
there must be
them
more
to do.
to this. Like,
Well, I know.
did he request where she was staying?
Yes.
Oh, really? And
And
they
that-
told him.
Yeah, they said he wanted rooms next to hers or
Ah.
adjoining to hers, and that is a no-brainer. That it's like giving up the the flight manifesto list on
Yeah.
for a plane. You just don't do that. And a hotel should never say, oh yeah, she's in room 236. You can have room 237. Like that's outrageous.
Right.
But $75 million outrageous?
237 would be on the other side of the hallway, though. Have to be 238 or 24.
Fair point, E.
Look at E, man.
E, Mr. Hotel over here.
Loves hotels.
You've never seen this video, have you, Jay?
I've never seen this.
How is it possible
I
that
don't
you haven't seen this? And you think she's kind of hot, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead, pop that up, E. Let's see.
So where did he? This is in the wall. God. Imagine
I
this
still
guy's-
never get that she what
This guy's
her,
just rock.
Oh my gosh.
but I never have gotten the idea of her nude, just like combing her hair.
Yeah,
and
do
shit.
people really do that?
I think some chicks do
Like you're
this,
talking to
sure.
a guy who wears a t-shirt to bed. So
Yeah.
people really just stand around nude?
Yeah, I think chicks do. I don't think this is uncommon for chicks to get ready in the mirror by themselves like
Hmm.
this. She's checking out her ass. How does my ass look? Nice.
She is. She's checking out her ass.
Yep, she's squeezing it.
No
How does it
way.
look? Yeah, I know. It's kind of douchey.
So honestly, where did this guy? Where are these holes? Like behind a picture frame or some crap?
I'm not sure. I heard it was a peephole, but you can tell the cutout that it's circular.
I mean, this
Yeah.
looks like it's coming from the door based on where she is, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I always kind of thought that's where it was.
Right.
Look at her doing
the
squats,
The
Jay.
bed's behind her.
Oh my god!
Scott's trying to tighten those glutes.
Oh my gosh.
How's
And then
my
she
ass look
looks at
now?
her. Oh my
Oh!
gosh, that's hilarious.
What a bitch!
Oh, this is horrifying, is what it is. This is really disturbing. Sorry.
but for a different reason, though.
Yeah.
Like
If she was just combing her hair and curling her hair, it's like, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a
but-
monster. But the fact that she's doing squats, it's
Yeah.
like,
and then looking at her squats.
how do my thighs look?
Yeah, the vanity is the most embarrassing. Look at her looking at her ass again.
Yeah.
She's obsessed with her ass.
Loves her own ass. So am I correct? The bed's behind her? Like she's
That's
sitting
what
in front
I
of the
would
desk?
say.
So it does
Looks
look like the door. The guy's out in the hallway doing this?
Yeah. I'm not
Sounds
totally
like
sure.
not. It sounds like he did it from an adjacent room, but
I think he
Maybe
had
the
to-
desk is just in a different. Who knows what what this specific rooms.
yeah, I'd like to see what the setup was and how this dude pulled this off.
Nice titties, though, right?
Can you
Yeah.
imagine how he couldn't even imagine it'd be this good, like front and center,
Yeah, you
total
like,
nude.
right?
Yeah.
No, he probably thought
Maybe catch a glimpse of her.
right.
Walking by
There
after
she
she,
is,
got out of
full
the shower.
frontal.
Yeah, dude. This is
For a
the best
stalker?
case scenario when you're. I mean,
Look at
by
that.
far.
Full frontal shot.
And now we're watching
Yes,
it. I mean,
Flat out masturbation would be the only
Yeah.
the last frontier on this one.
Yeah. If she picked up that hairbrush and inserted it,
Yeah.
would be the only thing that would be better. But,
She loves her ass.
oh my gosh, she going. Oh, now she's touching it, squatting and
That is honestly what I would be most embarrassed about.
without question.
Everybody sees how vain I am.
Yeah.
yeah, dude. You're.
I feel like a creep even watched. To be
Yeah.
honest with you, I kind of feel like a creep watching it.
But you're right though. That's funny. I didn't even. I kind of saw this, but I never watched the whole video. I think I always just saw kind of essentially just her
Snippet
tits.
of it.
Yeah.
And,
God, there she goes.
I guess-
again.
how's that ass look? How's it look now?
And especially if she's doing it and looking at her, like doing the squats, and
feeling it.
Poor girl. I'm sorry.
and now we're talking about it here years later.
The only way you could see where you go, fuck them, $75 million is strictly for the distress. Like that girl will never go into a hotel again
Mhm.
and feel like anywhere she is that's not her house, even in her own house. That girl will never do that in the mirror again. Like she's got to be.
It's been taken away from her.
It's been taken away from her, the ability to dance like an asshole in the mirror.
I mean, we can all just dance, be naked.
It's horrifying, dude. The
Be
thought
alone.
is horrifying.
Well,
Not her.
and I will say, even though it obviously, and we're being joking on some of the like, but it did get her career. It got her on Dancing with the Stars. It made her a household name, unquestionable.
Yeah.
But there's no question, being a chick, dude. Like every guy that she's worked with has seen this video now. You know what I mean? Every game, they might be professional to her face
Yeah.
in some level, but she knows.
Imagine that if that was video of Joe Buck. You know what I mean? Joe Buck looking at his ass in the mirror, stroking his dick a little bit.
Just
fluffing it up.
Yeah, not
Blow drying
masturbating,
his
but like just
pubes.
kind of.
The blow drying of the pubes.
Equally disturbing. What do you think that's worth? I mean, for Marriott. Is that
I
worth
don't know.
anything?
I don't know what they did. They gave her room number out and put him next door.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think he got
Give her $1 million.
$1 million.
Not 75.
Just spitballing.
He was sentenced to 30 months, did his time in 2010 and 2011. He now lives in Oregon. The guy that filmed that great video for us. It's just kind of hard to find. You got to go to porn sites to find that, don't you, nowadays?
That's where I found it.
Yeah. It's one of those that we're trying to scrub.
Mhm.
I need a coffee.
I could
Do you
use
have
one
to
too,
whiz?
Mike. Yes, I do. This Red
wanna-
Bull's running right through me.
Do you
Let's take
wanna-
a quick break?
Look up the Wee Witch, see if we can make any headway with that.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll take a quick time out. We'll come back, tell you what's going on with Black Lives Matter, some activists in Nashville, and much more next.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break.
Manager at Zott Ford and Holly. As all of you know who have met, hey friends, it's me, Steve Gabarra, the general manager at Zott Ford and Holly. As all of you know who have met me before, I'm no god or anything close to it. However, what I am is a TDC fan just like you. As a big thank you to the listeners who continue to show us a ton of love and support, I want to offer you the lowest payment on an F-150 I've seen in years. Right now, only at Zott Ford, you can lease the all-new 2016 Ford F-150 Super Crew. Yes, I said Super Crew XLT 4x4 for only $195 per month for 24 short months. Yes, just $195 for an F-150 Super Crew only at Zott Ford and Holly. Peep our outlandish deals and massive inventory at ZottFord.com.
Detroit Cast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
What do?
All right, welcome back to the Detroit Cast. Mike and Jay.
Miguel, we have to tell you about our buddy David Helm. This segment's brought to you by Helm Law. Helm Law is a full-service law firm built on the model of providing the best legal service to its clients throughout Michigan. It represents clients in a wide range of cases, including family law and divorce, civil litigation, estate planning, and criminal defense. So whether you are leaving your children in a car or your spouse is refusing to put out, call Helm Law at 248-679-8804 or go online at helmlawpc.com. They offer free consultations. Tell them you support the show. You'll get 15% off.
Every time I hear that, I just think like the idea that someone would call up and just like, excuse me, looking for David Helm. Oh yes, I'll connect you. Mr. Helm, my wife is not putting out. What are we going to do about this?
Going to a court of law.
Sir.
Take it up.
Your Honor.
I'd like to request a cease and desist from ceasing and desisting.
This bitch refuses to put out.
Now,
I rest my case, Your Honor.
I want to stay loyal. I do, but gotta get that last nut out.
Coffee's delicious this morning. Very good. Very good.
Delicious.
I don't know
for what is it, 80 a year or 20 a month?
Shut up, E. I don't need your help.
$700 a year.
$600.
$700 a year.
Change.
Studio spends on coffee because somebody refuses to drink potted coffee. Somebody's a snob when it comes to little Keurig cups.
Horrible for the environment because we throw them away.
I know.
In landfills.
The guy that invented the Keurig thing
he wishes he wouldn't have done it.
Wishes he wouldn't have made it now.
Oh.
He's like, there's no way to fix it.
Johann von Keurig.
Yeah, exactly. He says there's no way to fix it, and there's no way to recycle those cups, so they absolutely get thrown just in the trash.
There's no way to recycle them.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something weird about them where
really you can't just like open them up, take a fork to it, get all the coffee out, and then throw it in your recycle box.
Nope, apparently not. So they will forever just go in this shithole dumpster.
Is he feeling so bad that he's giving away the money he's made from said?
No, but he wishes he never would have made it now. So I wish I never would have made it.
I want to come up with some $1 million industry and then
$1 billion industry.
Yeah, and then afterwards just kind of be like, oh yeah, it's a bad mistake. But I'm going to keep my money.
Yeah. I don't blame him for keeping the money though. Black Lives Matter. Mentioned them before going into the break. The Nashville chapter. I don't know what those guys are paid. I don't know if the Nashville chapter pays the Black Lives Matter members more than some of the other branches.
Say the Minneapolis branch.
Yeah.
Those guys were camping out at the police station for like a month.
Right. And they had their bus fares.
Double time.
Yeah. Time and a half for sure. I mean, obviously there are more hot spots in the country where you think you'd have to buy more of them to march and protest. So I don't know what the Nashville chapter of Black Lives Matter is paid for their fine service to the community, but they've been booted from the library. They're a public library in Nashville. Officials told the group that meetings that welcome only people of color cannot take place inside the city's libraries. The library canceled all future meetings organized for the month of February. For the past few months, the Black Lives Matter in Nashville has held its chapter meetings at the North Branch Library in Nashville. Outraged members posted a notice on their Facebook page. They thankfully they put a disclaimer at the top of their notice, kind of bulleted it to say, hey, this is a disclaimer that the comments posted under this thread may be triggering for some audiences.
Triggering.
Yeah. So as much as you want the Black Lives Matter movement to be a safe space, we cannot, in fact, control all the comments that are probably just killing them. Please proceed to read them at your own discretion. The body meeting, the Black Lives Matter general body meeting location has changed due to white supremacy in our local government. This week's BLM general body meeting has changed. We will meet at the Dixon Memorial United Methodist Church. And then it gets bigger letters, says that the general body meetings are open to black and non-black people of color only, ! Which is where the problem came in. Emily Waltenbaugh told the local Tennessean that the library didn't cancel anyone's meeting. We're a library. We're taxpayer funded. We have to be open to anyone, anytime. So there was, I guess,
it was a no whites allowed meeting.
Yeah, they're all no whites allowed
at the library.
Yeah, yeah, at the public library.
And they're surprised the library didn't like this.
Right. So a patron went in there and said, I don't feel inclusion here at my local library. They won't let me in here because I'm not black enough. And so they're like, yeah, at that point, they didn't really know. They're like, yeah, these weirdos show up once a week and they do whatever they do in the corner and they don't really bother anyone. So whatever. But now that we find out that they're not inclusive to everybody in the general public, yeah, you're not welcome to have your meetings here. So now it's, of course, white supremacy. Once again, we shouldn't be surprised. We expect this from the evil devil, Satan, white folks to shut down our movement meeting.
So they're headed to a church.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Nice, right? Joshua Crutchfield, an organizer, said the group has one rule: only black people, as well as non-black people of color. So what does that mean? Just Latinos and half blacks? I mean, the president would be welcome there, I take it. Having this policy, the chapter said this policy in place, we have this policy in place to center the voices and experiences of people of color that have historically been excluded or segregated within supposedly public spaces. The organization views these spaces as integral to healing and community building, particularly to those who have experienced radicalized violence. The group was surprised about it, but we shouldn't have been. You know, this is what we expect from the white devils that run this country. We kind of know the history about how things go in this country. Imagine if they were having a Klan meeting at the public library. Do you think anyone would have a problem if they went, look, it's just a safe space for white folks and people of non-color to organize and discuss how difficult our lives are? Like, nobody would look at that and go, well, just give them their space. I mean, what are you doing? Of course they wouldn't. Why should that be any different?
Yeah. Hey, remember, Mike E. and all you listeners, if you're a young,
Well
attractive
put, Jay.
female
Well
teacher,
put.
I don't know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's speaks for itself.
Mhm.
If you're a young, attractive female teacher who's eager to brighten her students' future, or if you've been injured at the Fady Manor and are looking to cash in, call Helm Law at 248-679-8804 or go online at helmlawpc.com to set up your free consultation. Tell them you support the Detroit Cast. You'll get 15% off.
Hollywood is apparently whitewashed as well. We've heard that lately. And
also, I hear next year is going to be just as bad, just given the films that are coming out.
Oh, really? Ooh,
not inclusive, Mike.
That's not good. They say it's an epidemic of invisibility, according to one group who's done a that's for women of Hollywood, minorities, and the LGBT community. A damning new report is found. A study to be released tomorrow shows one of the most wide-ranging exams of film and TV. We don't have a diversity problem. We have an inclusion crisis. The study examined the 109 films released by major studios, first-run TV and digital series across 31 networks and streaming services. The portrait is one of pervasive underrepresentation no matter the media platform, from CEOs to minor characters. Only a third of speaking characters were female. Only 28% were from minority groups, and 10% less than the makeup of the U.S. population. Just 2% of speaking characters were LGBT identified. Dude, Hollywood is probably made up of 60% gay.
Yeah.
Just because they're not outwardly acknowledgeable.
Saying this is like a white old boys network. It's kind of backward.
Yeah. When we start to take a step back to see the larger ecology, I think we see a picture of exclusion, as if, again, this infers that that these dynamite scripts are landing on people's desks, and them just going, "Oh my God, this is the greatest script I've ever read. When do we get started on it?" Well, boss, I feel like I have to get this out there before we go any further. It's written by a black guy. Oh. Shit! Now what do we do? Well, just
we
shelf
could,
it.
yeah, we could run it still, but I mean,
What are we gonna do? Put it on the CW? Hell no!
Made for TV.
Just shelf it with the rest of them. I know they're dynamite scripts, but this is bullshit. They want black leads in here. There's a gay role in here. Just shelf it.
There's just a room of these scripts that are better than anything that's ever been written. And
Yeah.
it's like,
There's just
grab me another superhero one. Screw it. Put a black guy in that at least.
yeah. There's just mountains of Shawshank Redemption scripts just in some dark, desolate corner in Hollywood somewhere. It's their dark secret.
Just beautiful,
bury it.
compelling tales.
But they just don't know what to do with them. The Inclusivity Index is a report card for performances of 21st Century Fox, CBS, NBC, Sony, Walt Disney, Viacom, Amazon, Hulu, Netflix. Those companies encompass all the major ways consumers watch film and TV. Each was rated by the percentage of female, minority, and gay characters. None of the 6 major studios rated better than 20% overall. Time Warner was the fairest of them all. They scored a 0.
Ooh.
Time Warner. Wow. Some of the same companies scored better with their digital offerings. Disney, CW. Well, the CW is in there. Amazon and Hulu all scored 65% and above. People are still erased. It's 2016 and it's time for a change.
Have you ever seen Beast of No Nation?
Dude, I started to watch that and I got bored as shit with it. I'm sorry. Did you see it?
Trevor writes in, hey guys, since the Oscars are Sunday and you guys have been in search of a worthy nominee of the African descent, I think I may have found the movie you guys need to check out. It's called Beast of No Nation.
Yeah.
And it was made by the guy who did the first season of True Detective. It's a heartwarming story about a child in Africa. Gets taken in by a local militia / warlord. It does remind me of the Wee Witch.
Yeah.
It's some depressing shit, but I'll be damned if that little bastard didn't act his ass off.
Yeah. That was just a Netflix.
Yeah, he says the best part of this movie is it's on Netflix, which is easy to watch. The reason this movie didn't get any nominations, many believe, is due to the fact that it was a Netflix original. However, it did have a theatrical release, which makes it eligible. This gives credence to the argument Oscars so white, aka old-ass white MFers don't understand how Netflix works.
Yeah.
I would see more of a, and yeah, he's right. In that thing, I bet it's more of just them either not wanting to give Netflix in yet to the, the films, stuff like that. I just out of date, out of touch people with technology more than against black people.
Yeah. I don't know. I started to watch that movie and was tired when I started watching it. So I've watched like half of it maybe. And you can see where people are going, oh yeah, great acting.
Is the kid good?
Yeah, it's been a lot of running through the jungle and he's just kind of got caught by a guerrilla group outfit after his village was murdered, shit like that. So I feel like they haven't developed his full story yet.
To caution you on your use of the language.
Why? What did I say?
Guerrilla group. Mike, is that where we're going?
Sorry.
Mike, I'm looking at the Wee Witch. I looked into this on the break.
Wee Witch.
I want to adopt this kid, but I can't find a way to do this. Last I see is that he's been named Hope, unfortunately. So he'd have to be renamed Marvin immediately.
Would you name him Marvin?
Yeah. Yes.
As in Starvin' Marvin?
Yeah. Call him Marv. Just
Russell,
after 2
Manny,
days,
and Marvin.
They're bragging. This place is bragging. We've received over $1 million to help Little Hope. Let me repeat that. 1 million Danish kroner is donated to us in 2 days. Wow. Now, if you look up what a kroner is worth, dude, it's 15 cents.
Ooh. So they've raised like 150
grand. Yeah. With that picture of the witch going viral and you've only got 150K.
And what are they doing with that 150K? Are they setting up a college fund for him or are they building a new house in Nigeria? I bet they're building a new outpost for their organization. The witch isn't going to get shit.
No, he's not going to see a dime.
What are the odds? I don't know how this works. There's very few times that I've actually tried to adopt a child from Africa or Nigeria in my life, and I can't remember how this all goes. What are the odds of you being able to single out the wee witch?
Like get the one, like request
that one. You don't want just any random witch. You want the wee witch, right?
Are you kidding me? Yes, I want this little wee witch. I don't want a different witch.
Yeah,
I want this one, and that's my question: is can I find this particular kid? I don't want any other one.
We have to have listeners that have done this before, that have gone and adopted people. I mean, maybe it's going to take a flight over there.
I have my passport up to date.
I mean, could we send E over there to collect the wee witch?
In Nigeria with his Michigan basketball pants,
his tearaways.
Where's the witch or whatever?
Eating a bagel, just stuffing his face as he gets off the plane. Hey, fellas, how we doing? Black Lives Matter. He's holding his fist up. Black Power. Where's the wee witch? Anyone seen the wee witch? I'm here to collect the wee witch, please.
No, I'm surprised that there hasn't been more about this kid, man, because it's all like last week's news.
Yeah. But someone's dropping the ball on him.
to the Astronome couch.
So they have real world issues over there, obviously. We have real world issues over here too. Trying to correct the world's ills, dealing with whatever problems we have, our art community, for instance.
Oh no.
We've got a young artist out there, DC native, Samara Paz. She's 21, got the world figured out.
Oh
and,
boy.
She's a student at the University of the Arts in Philadelphia, and she decided it would make the perfect medium for a powerful statement advocating for women's bodies. So she's going to use period blood for art.
This isn't the first time we've heard this.
Yeah, I know.
But-
Been there, done that, right?
Right.
We've seen that done before. The young woman created her own 1 week late series, which is nice, of paintings using her own blood on white canvas, posting them on social media, explaining that they were my way of normalizing periods and turning blood that would just be discarded into something I consider beautiful.
Who is out there yes, I mean I think it's gross, the idea of like that shit on someone, but there's no one who's out here demonizing it. Like,
yeah, that's a good question. I often wonder that too. Like, who's out there just like putting hexes on these people because they're on the rag?
people sitting there just like, I just don't get it.
Need to normalize the period.
I believe like using bodily fluids in artwork began about like 35,000 years ago in cave drawings. I use what I got and I refuse to limit myself.
No, she believes in just trying to get
Shock
in the
people.
news, shock somebody by smearing her vag blood on a
No,
canvas.
that's not true, Jay. My point and my aim of this work was to erase the stigmas society has about women, periods, and like their bodies.
If she would have drawn like something awesome, like a General Washington on the back of a stallion, then I'd have been like, huh, she's a good artist.
She's got some talent.
I mean, she did this with vag blood.
Yeah.
But what she's done is she's just basically smeared it like a 3-year-old could have done.
What are you talking about?
A 3-year-old could have done this. That is not art sucks.
Art does suck. E, did you see her fine work?
Art needs to have some sort of realism to me, or it's just not art.
Yeah.
This abstract bullshit.
Especially if you're using what she's using under whatever she's talking about. There should have been some relevance with it. What is that? Why would you look
draw
at that?
a big vag or something?
I guess. I don't
Yeah.
something. Why would you look at that and go, yep, this is for
I kind of feel like if I can do it, it's not art.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
if you gave us finger paints on a white canvas, I feel like we could come damn close to this.
You put that one up, put yours, put mine, and then go, which one was created by an artist? You wouldn't know.
Of course not.
It just looks kind of like a maze. Like she just tried to draw a maze in her own vag blood.
Ugh.
Do you think she took a menstrual cup and poured it out?
Oh my god.
I don't know.
Gross.
The idea was actually a long time coming. It was her glee over finally getting an overdue period 6 years ago that had her thinking. I was relieved and like full of so much like attention or emotion. The urge to create something was present, and I like instantly knew what I had to do. But of course, not everyone is seeing the beauty in her work. Some people are posting, "This is disgusting. You need some counseling." Some like hateful internet trolls were so incensed by my work that they hurled racial slurs over social media, calling me dirty and nasty. Some even telling me to please die.
It's just the point. It just shows what she's up against.
Yeah.
The wall she's trying to break down.
Wait a minute. And I don't remember. She said racial slurs.
She's black.
Is she black? Okay.
Yeah. Which she's taken all those trolls, quote unquote. Look, you're doing something for a reaction. That's the only reason this is newsworthy. It's the only reason you would do this. So when you
should
get
be
that
happy
reaction,
those people are doing that. That shows you did what you tried, I guess.
so she's making a second art project by printing off people's troll comments like disgusting, you're a monster, no one wants to see your cunt blood, like all that stuff, and she's like cutting them out and pasting them onto a fresh white canvas, and it's like more art. Look at my
dude.
art.
I could do something on
Artist.
social networking that would get those kind of reactions, and then just take people's reactions.
This
And
chick reminds me of one of Will Smith's kids.
Yeah.
Not just because it's
Yeah.
a similar voice that you're using for her, but it's just like the similar kind of take on shit.
Attention grabbing. Is it really like, how do we know first off that's anything to do with her period. Blood. It could be blood from anywhere. How do I know she didn't just like stick something in her arm and?
No, there's ovum in there.
You think so?
Yeah,
can you tell? All right. It's highly stigmatized and taboo.
I
So
see
this
a
is
piece
cool.
of the uterine wall right there.
Do you? Oh, over here.
Yeah.
I see it too now. I just don't think it's that stigma. Yeah, it's funny to laugh at the fact that chicks bleed for a week. That's kind of hilarious.
Weird.
The fact that they have
Weird
to
and
stuff
strange.
cotton, tubes of cotton up
You
there.
need to plug. You need to plug it up.
You need drains. Yeah, otherwise, you're just a human drain.
Gross.
I know it stinks and it's gross, but it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But I don't think like evil woman and hissing them.
Yeah.
You know what I
don't
mean?
That anyone does.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead, Jay. Did you want to say
You
something?
want to tow your snowmobile or boat?
Oh,
Mike?
I do.
Do you want a room to fit the entire family and its hockey gear? E?
Sure.
Do you want to go off road and do some camping?
Now that I want to do.
You want to look sophisticated and hot to all your friends, do you? And you want to do it all in class-leading comfort and safety, don't you? Well, then you need to lease a 2016 Ford Explorer from Zott Ford and Holly. Believe it or not, you can have all of this for just $248 for 24 months. Hurry to I-75 and exit 98 because when February ends, so does this dream come true.
A pastor, he got into a plane crash.
Oh, I heard about this
poor
guy.
son of a bitch. The Reverend Stephen Stam.
I mean, what are the chances that you get in a plane crash, right?
Yeah. Well, he's a pilot, and he had to call his wife and say, "Honey, I've made a decision today." And he told his wife, Karen, "I'm not going to put you through this anymore. I had a bit of a mishap, quite a serious one." He's a retired pastor from Holland. He informed his wife that he would give up flying, his passion of 22 years, after breaking his back in his third plane crash in less than a decade. Dude,
Son of a bitch is good, huh?
good at crashing. The NTSB report came out last week and put the blame solely on him for his crashes, saying he should have acted to prevent a developing engine problem. His first crash came in 2009 when he was flying 1977 Grumman American Lynx. We're all familiar with that fine plane. He attempted to go around at a Holland airport, but collided with trees. He clipped a bunch of trees and down he went. His second time came in July of 2015. He was turning near Lake Michigan when the engine just quit. I don't know what happened. It just quit. That was just a textbook dead stick landing, he said. I just picked a spot and put her down. He ended up halfway out the windshield of the plane, but his injuries weren't too serious. The NTSB determined that the plane was way too low on gas to try to make that turn. And then September 11th, he was flying his newly purchased replacement plane home from Davis, California. He was cruising at about 9,500 feet when the engine started losing power. I was losing RPMs and airspeed and altitude. I was sinking fast. I was flying over the canyon, and I was way above the edges that sank down into the canyon. I was just trying to stay between the canyon walls. I was concerned about truck traffic because it looked like I was going to have to put her down on I-80.
It sounds like this guy just wants to put them down anywhere. Like he doesn't want to land north. He just finds any excuse to possibly have to put her down in a crazy landing.
I pretty much knew I was going to die at that point. I was sure I was going to slam into the side of a mountain. The plane clipped the cement median wall and came to a stop just short of the cliff face wall. So he almost tumbled all the way down. That slowed me down enough that I didn't slam into the canyon wall. 2 inches higher or lower, I would have slammed into traffic. I just barely cleared the highway. I kind of grieve the loss of flying. On the other hand, I have no interest in climbing in a plane and taking off. I'm a bit touchy.
Would that make you quit 3? With 3,
yeah.
You'd be done with 3. Would you be done with 1?
I would.
Yeah,
personally,
I probably would be too.
Got
to really love it.
Yeah.
To hang in there. Feel like you cheat death once, that'd be it for me.
Yeah. I'd rather crash my plane than walk to the airport nude like that guy, though.
What is that guy doing?
I don't know. Look at this turd.
Where is this?
This
is
is
it
in
making some point?
Nashville International.
Dude, a lot happened in
Airport.
Nashville this week.
Mm-hmm. This happened yesterday. He was arrested for public indecency. Travelers were shocked to see him waiting in the checkout line, butt ass naked. He's just strolling through the airport. No shoes, no socks, no underwear, no shirt, no pants, nothing. The man has not been identified, but he is in police custody right now. A man traveling from California to Nashville for business captured the moment and shared it on Facebook. Yeah. Nice guy.
Walking amongst us, man.
Was there a
So-
reason given, or was it him trying to prove some point against like strip searches, or was he
It
just
has to be, right?
Probably.
Yeah. As if you think that's going to work. Like you're going to get
Gross.
through the airport.
It's gross.
how did he even
ass.
get that far? Honestly, like how did he? He's walking in. I mean, he had at that
Probably
point.
went
he's
into a bathroom, just left everything, and walked
like,
up to a
yeah,
ticket counter.
Yeah, you're right.
Speaking of plane crashes, there's a new book out or coming out about the one, was it the Andes Mountain
Yes.
where the movie Alive was based on? Did you ever see that movie
No, I never did actually.
where they had to eat their buddies
Ah,
to survive? Would you do that? Would you eat your
We already
friends?
talked about it several.
Have we?
Yeah.
man, I think I would.
Would you?
Mm-hmm.
Would you start with the Penoozle meat?
No, I would
No.
not start with the Penoozle meat.
What do you start with? Buttocks? Do you go with
Yeah,
buttocks?
I think they started with like
No.
the back of the thigh.
I was
I,
gonna say
think that's as good as any.
This, yeah, thigh,
yeah,
probably.
These are like a drumstick. Big
calf,
drumstick. Go with it. Ankle and calf. Definitely not the Penoozle meat though.
No.
The guy in Germany did though.
Yeah, he did.
Remember that? They
Whipped
fried
it
it
like
up.
a sausage.
Yeah, so it was delicious. Yeah, now one of them has written a haunting and deeply moving book. He told of the crash that happened in 1972 and the hunger that caused them to get to that point. He says, behind us, the fuselage grew smaller and smaller in the distance. So this is when they're leaving that, like, okay, nobody's coming to save us.
Mhm.
So we're going to have to like go on a hike here, a couple of us, and see if we can get down the mountain. So that he's recalling looking back and seeing the plane and the mountains get smaller off in the distance. Our friends watched from the wreckage of the plane as the two of us began climbing the mountain wall. I turned around occasionally to look at them until they were shadowy pinpricks, tiny black ants moving along a snowy white canvas. No wonder the rescue planes hadn't seen us. The white fuselage camouflaged against the snow. We were totally invisible. There were only 16 of us left now out of the original 45 who'd been on board when the plane plunged out of the sky 2 months before. They'd been there for 2 months waiting. Holy shit. Would we ever see them again? I doubted it. We said goodbye with the first rays of dawn as we set out on our life or death mission. We wore several jumpers and pairs of pants. So they were wearing like 3 pairs of pants each because they'd lost so much weight that they could literally throw on 3 pairs of pants over each other. On my back, a makeshift sleeping bag constructed from the insulation fibers in the plane's tailpiece. I also carried a rugby sock stuffed with our food, strips of frozen human flesh. Yeah. That we'd cut from the bodies of our buddies who died. My friend Nando and I walked in our rugby boots using cushions from the plane as snowshoes. We each carried a length of rope and a metal stick. In truth, we had no idea what we needed. Neither of us had any climbing experience whatsoever. The mountain wall was nearly vertical. The air was so thin that every few yards we found ourselves gasping for breath. As night came, we suddenly couldn't see anything. We didn't know whether we were stepping on firm ground or about to fall into a ravine. Where in God's name am I? Our sweat-soaked clothes began to freeze. The wind seemed bent on whipping us into oblivion. It looked as though we were going to die on our first night away from the plane. Despair made me fight harder, though. One false move could send us over the edge. We hoped against hope that we might just survive till morning. By the third day, Nando and I were approaching the summit. Only then would we be able to look around us and assess the challenge that lay ahead. How often we'd visualized in our mind's eye the valleys that we fondly believed lay on the other side of the mountain, quaint villages, happy herdsmen, abundant food. It was Nando who got there first. What can you see? I asked as I clamored to join him. He was staring silently into the distance. As I joined him, I could see why. Before us lay an infinite number of gigantic snowy peaks disappearing out into the horizon. Oh, east, west, north, south. There was nothing but ice and snow and mountains. We're dead. My despair was absolute. Then Nando pointed. I followed the direction of his finger to the west, in the direction of Chile. There, hardly visible to the naked eye, were twin peaks that appeared not to be covered with snow. They were incredibly far away, but they were our only hope. That night, we huddled together in our improvised sleeping bag.
Well,
Uh,
where's he going with
Now it's
this?
getting interesting. Yeah, you've already eaten your buddies. I mean,
Might as well eat your buddy.
we both knew we were likely to die. The next morning, little by little, we began our descent. During some stretches, we slid down the mountain, nearly sitting down. At other times, we clung face first to the cliff, careful not to let our backpacks tip us back. By nightfall, we were exhausted and battered. Our jeans were worn, so they're ripping holes in their jeans, but they've got other pairs of jeans under it, so it turns out it's all right. The only way I got through those first days away from the plane was by setting myself short-term goals. It could be nothing more than reaching that next boulder, that next cliff, that next rock formation. See, I feel I know where these guys are at. Like when I was on my trail hike the other day,
the despair,
dude. I feel like it put me right back in the moment that these guys went through. I feel a kinship with them because I felt the same way. It was like just set small goals.
Then you heard traffic off M59 and reality came rushing back.
Eventually these guys made it out too. But that's a really desperate feeling when it's like, you know, just one foot in front of the other. I'm going to set a small goal. I'm going to try to get to that tree in the next couple of minutes. So I'm right there with them at this point. I feel their pain. I was starving on my trail hike too.
Can imagine.
Yeah, it was tough. It was brutal. On day 7, we began withdrawing into ourselves. Our minds and bodies were starting to fail. My skin had taken on a greenish tinge and my toes were turning black from hypothermia. I dreamed of my girlfriend. She would have to find another boyfriend. Oh, she found him long ago. Yeah, like
2 months.
Night 2.
He dreamed of his girlfriend, worrying that she'll have to find it. As if it seems
that wouldn't cross your mind.
No,
that's so outrageous that you think of
it's
your girlfriend and the fact that she's gonna not be with you and be with someone else.
Would you be thinking?
No,
like,
I think that he's like worried. Not that he's not thinking that, but like she'll have to find another boy. She'll find another boyfriend in a second.
Yeah, that's true.
There'll be plenty of dicks out there willing to go in there. No shortage of dicks.
For us, the day ended at 4 p.m. when the sun disappeared. But on that 7th day, I looked at my watch. It was 4:15 and the sun was still shining. A few minutes later, I checked again. It had been more than 30 minutes since the sun should have disappeared, but not tonight. Nando, how is the sun still lighting up the valley? If the sun isn't being blocked, that must mean we're almost out of the mountains. Over there, where the sun is still shining through, that's the way out. That night, total darkness did not fall until after 7 o'clock at night. The following morning, my mind felt clear. There's far more oxygen here. Traveling further downwards that day, the snow began giving way to rocky terrain and loose gravel. Then finally it disappeared. The only white we could see now was high up in the distance, the place where we stood, where probably no man had ever set foot before. But to me, it felt like the gates of paradise. An hour later, the most wonderful thing of all, 6 feet ahead of me, I saw a lizard. The origins of life were beginning to emerge. That night, we found the first twigs we had seen for months and lit a fire. The next day, the signs of civilization began to multiply. A horseshoe, a rusty tin can, a stream that became a rushing river, a clump of trees. Next to them, 2 cows. So these assholes are like, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to climb up this tree, and we're going to drop a rock onto the cow's head to kill him, and then we're going to eat him. And then they're like, yeah, that probably won't work. And then they see like a cowboy sitting up on a horse in the distance, and they're trying to wave him down, and they're trying to make noise over this rushing river, the sound of this rushing river. And they finally get this cowboy's attention, and they're like, hey, and the guy's like, yeah, tomorrow, it's getting dark out. And they're like,
fuck, no.
So the cowboy comes back the next day, and he's got a piece of paper, like a note that he ties to a rock on a string and chucks the rock across the water to them, and is like, what do you want? And they're like, we've been in a plane crash. We've been up here for months, you know, and they chuck the rock back to him, and he's like, all right, I'll try to find you some help. And so he leaves and comes back like hours later, the next day, with horses for them. And they have to do this like 8-hour trek on horseback to some village. And they get to some place where there's like some village hut where some guy makes cheese for a living, and they just start devouring this cheese. And then they finally got out of there, and they were able to save all those guys back up on the mountain.
How many were back, and how many were in this group?
16 were back on the mountain.
And it was just him and Nando?
Him and Nando, yeah. And so they're like, yeah, we'll go up and try to find your buddies, but one of you's coming with us. Like, we don't know where the hell you went down, so one of you is going to have to help us navigate and try to find this. So Nando went with them. And, you know, this guy was like, oh, I was exhausted. I wasn't going, fuck that shit. I made it down the mountain. And so this dude went up, and they were able to find these guys and bring them down. And then they ended up going like to all the people that died. They went to their families and was like, look, I'm sorry. I grabbed his wallet for you. He was a great dude. He was delicious. I mean, for what it's worth. And the families were all like, oh, cool. I'm glad he was tasty. What part did you eat?
Nice marbleized red meat. It was really good. Especially when we were able to make fire. We cooked him.
Yeah, it was delicious. His panoozle meat was spectacular. Stunning.
Bon appetit.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting book, though, man. Several of us went on to play rugby for the Uruguayan?
Uruguayan?
The Guayans. The national team, all of us still meet every year on the anniversary of our rescue, bound by the ties as deep as human beings can know.
Who was in that movie? The main character, was it Ethan Hawke?
Was he? I don't remember, dude. I saw that movie
Nando.
years and years
I don't
and
know
years
if
ago.
anybody else was in it.
They
Didn't you say they did a Cliff Note Theater on that?
Yeah, one of the very first Cliff Notes theater was done on the story of a life. It's one of my favorite ones too. It's rather short, but fuck is it funny, man. Oh yeah, Drew's take on Alive is hysterical. I think the very first Cliff Notes theater was the Amy whatever story, which was pretty short too. Who's the idiot that she tried to kill Buttafuoco?
Oh God.
Joey Buttafuoco and Amy, what was her name? Shit, whatever. But I think that was the very first one. I want to say
The Long
second,
Island Lolita.
Yes. And then the second one, I believe, was The Story of Alive, which I don't have on hand or I'd play for you. But anyway, interesting book. I wouldn't mind reading it, but
right,
chilling details for sure. Anyway,
Mike, we have some email.
What do we got?
Well, first off, before we get to email, congratulations to our friend Laura, who's become on fiance.
Who?
Laura. Chick was in studio.
We
a
have
couple
so
weeks
many
ago.
Lauras
Come on.
listening. Oh,
Come on.
that Laura.
Yeah, that Laura.
They were at Twin Peaks.
They were at Twin Peaks.
I saw them there.
Laura has become on fiance to Mike. Congratulations, Laura
Wait,
and Mike.
unfianced or
Unfianced.
Unfianced. Okay, so they didn't split up. She's not on the market then.
She's not on the market, and and Mike is a lucky man because Laura made the manicotti that was brought over
Ooh.
here. Delicious.
It was delicious. Edie, remember which one that is? Do you care?
I remember the manicotti.
You don't remember the person that served it to you?
Do you remember how many ladies were here that evening?
I think there's 2,
There were 3.
3.
I was going to say 4. So,
Oh yeah, you know what? That was the night with
are
I
you
do
sure
remember
there
now.
was 3?
Yeah, he's right. That was the night with they're all wearing like cowboy boots and shit and whatever, and talking about roping and
What's roping?
it's a thing.
All right.
What is roping, E?
I don't know. It's a cowboy thing.
Is it like wrangling? Like,
Yeah. I mean, there's if you go to the rodeos and stuff, there's like barrel racing and
Yeah, they all
roping.
barrel raced, all those chicks.
Really?
Yeah, that's some serious shit. You ever see that? They go
Yeah,
out like bats out of hell, man.
barrel racing is pretty fun to watch.
I don't know what that
actually. I
is.
don't
What does
watch
that
it.
mean? They go out of bats like
They're
bats
on
like-
a horse and they're flying and they're like zigzagging through barrels and it's timed, you know, it's like a time trial type thing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I don't want to do that.
Marie, I think, owns a farm or some shit, or
Really?
yeah, or works at a farm. But yeah, they're like serious like horse people. But congratulations to Laura.
They're not horsing around
Not
with that
horsing around.
stuff.
David writes in. Dave, I gotta tell you, man, I don't like where this is going. Hello, King Esquire, self-proclaimed thin one. What's that? E? Barrel racing. Here we go. Watch this shit, man. You gotta have some skills. Some tight thighs. Boobs. Some strong thighs.
The horse does, not you. You're just strapped to a horse. His hat's not even falling off. Look at that boobs go. How much horsepower does he have?
Yeah, is this just strictly a chick sport? Or do dudes do this too?
I don't think so, but maybe not.
Yeah,
You know
I've
what? I
only
don't
seen
know.
women involved.
You're
in it,
right. That is a
honestly.
good point, though. I don't think I've ever.
I've been to
then
the
you-
Longhorn Rodeo.
So
I've
have
only
I.
seen chicks do it.
You know what? The thing is, I
This
bet.
titled Barrel Racing Cowgirls, though. So
Yeah, but no, Jay's right. I think with the rodeo, and I haven't been to one in a while, but I did used to go once in a while. And there's so many, different events. And maybe for whatever reason, this is
the
a chick
one?
event. I
Dude,
guess.
I could do that. You could tie me to a horse.
No,
and I
you
could do
couldn't.
that.
Did you ever go to the rodeo at the Silverdome?
Not the
no.
Silverdome, but I've been to the Palace one. Never at the Silverdome.
I went to a couple at the Silverdome back when I was a Cub Scout.
Yeah.
The Longhorn Rodeo.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it fun?
It was fun.
Dude, if you secured me well enough to a horse, if you tied me onto him or velcroed me onto him, I could do that.
No,
Yes. Why couldn't I?
no,
All you have to do is tie me down properly.
not close.
Bungee.
Tie me
You
down
couldn't
like
even
all
walk
fours.
for a half an hour.
Exactly. I'm not saying I could run the barrel races, but
It
I could
takes a lot
I
more
could be
skill.
strapped to a horse and be taken for a ride. It'd be fun.
Okay.
Dave continues. I hearken back to an email from Mr. Helm claiming that Biggie often thinks in Jay's voice. I have to admit that I too have the King's voice narrating my thoughts.
It's hard not to have that.
I've been studying for the bar exam, February 23 and 24 for the past 2
Poor
months.
son of a bitch.
Seriously, Dave, have you learned nothing on this show?
Mm.
Do you realize why I'm here?
He hears the king's voice in his head. He doesn't heed his advice, though.
Dave, it's tomorrow, right? Don't do this. February 23 and 24.
What do you expect him to do? Quit now because the king declares it?
The crowd has spoken.
He's been studying for the bar exam for the past 2 months. While reading my notes, it is in fact Jay's smug lawyer voice speaking. Also, when I'm thoroughly weary from my studies in the middle of a silence library, I'll slam my books on the desk and yell, "The crowd has spoken! Order!" That was in the email, Mike.
It's just a test. How hard could it be?
I've been reprimanded twice now for such behavior, but I give it the
All
old
taking
sweeperoo
tests.
and go about my day. It just goes to show how much I love it and listen to love to listen to the show. Keep up the great work, guys. By David J.D. Future Esquire. Oh, Dave.
Oh, Future Esquire. He's already bragging. He hasn't passed the test.
Yeah, let's see when he's passed the test.
Yeah.
That's funny. He's going to know more on the 23rd and 24th than he ever will. Like from the minute after he's done, he's just going to start forgetting all that crap that he just
Really?
learned. Yes.
Why do they make you do it then?
You gotta spit it out, man. You gotta show that you knew it at one point. Riparian water rights, Mike.
Yeah, I feel like I could be a lawyer. I'm not saying I should be. I just don't want to take the test. But I feel like as far as like making a decision on something, I think I'd be a good Supreme Court justice. Now I'm not saying they're going to give me the shot at it, but if they called and
There's
said
an open seat.
You can make the call.
I think I could make the call on like gay rights or
Your
something.
clerks write all the shit.
Yeah.
All the support for it. Yeah.
Yes. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Like I could sit in a room with like-minded individuals, the other justices and I. We could sit there and
I
they could give me
believe-
their insight.
If
and I
I'm
could
not
go, yeah.
mistaken, you do not need a law degree.
Oh, even
to be
better.
I think you.
'Cause I don't have one.
You have to have studied the law. I think is the standard. Honestly,
Does hanging out with you count as studying the law?
I think it does, Mike.
All right. Could we be a duo? Could we be a justice team? Like the Justice League. We could make the Justice League, Jay, and both of us will go in there and rule with an iron fist.
The crowd has spoken.
I don't think you can declare the crown as spoken, though, in an American.
U.S. Supreme Court.
Yes.
Hmm.
That might be an issue. Although we should bring back wigs.
Oh,
wouldn't that be
that
awesome?
would be
to
our
have
greatest
wigs?
contribution, I think, to the court.
See us and Sotomayor sitting there. We're both wearing wigs, powdered wigs.
Hey, Kagan, get with it. Put your wig on, bitch.
That would go over well.
CJ writes in.
Every day, I'm not even kidding. Every single day I would go to Clarence Thomas and I'd put a pube on his Coke. I would. That would be my inside joke. And he'd be like, no one would have to declare who has put pubic hair on my Coke.
You just know
They would know
Justice
it
Walters.
was Justice Walters that did it.
Chief Justice Walters.
God damn it. Quit putting pubes in my Coke, sir.
You know that bothers him.
Of course.
It's on the record as saying that. CJ writes in with a fidget update from Australia.
Oh, they're still
Yeah.
listening. All right.
Hello, Mike and Mike's Goons. Just letting you know that possibly your only Australian listener does indeed still listen. The band that you know as Fidget still exists. However, now this is where it goes south for me. However, the name Fidget itself did not manage to stick.
Damn it!
What? We lost Fidget?
Damn it!
Fidget, rethink this.
Wait a minute. That's a great name.
I gave strong protest.
It's
says
not a
CJ,
real word. It's made up. It's not something you like fidget.com you could probably get.
But alas, it was a futile effort. So now the band is stuck in a foggy limbo until we decide on a fitting name. Hold on, you didn't come up with something better. You just dropped Fidget?
Yeah, that's an
Now
outrage.
you just have a band,
Yeah.
no name.
Oh, I want to hear a list of their alternate names because I have a feeling they're going to be some bullshit that a 16-year-old mind would come up with,
Yeah.
even though they came up with Fidget.
CJ continues. I know it's really stupid. Nevertheless, we are making original songs now. So I'll send you send you our SoundCloud link when they are somewhat presentable. Anyway, Big E, did you get my email? If so, what to do? Or you know what to do.
I
If
don't
so, you know what
remember.
to do.
Like, sure.
E,
I
gotta
checked
play
my
along here.
I know, but
Did you get an email from Fidgety?
maybe. I
Mike-
read my email, so I don't know. I have an idea of what I think it might be about, but
Okay, you know what to do.
okay.
Go.
Well, I think I had to do it. I think I had to do with shooting you guys.
Oh shit.
If I remember,
All right, give it a shot.
correctly.
See what you got.
But I could be wrong. That's the only thing.
Yeah,
I
I'd
could
say
think that
don't shoot us. But Mike, stop pronouncing Australia in a way that it makes it sound like English is your second language.
Australia.
Australia.
What's wrong with that?
It sounds like you're trying to be like, I don't know.
Smug? Australia. How do you pronounce it?
Australia.
Australia.
Jay, thanks for reading this. You're a fine establishment of a human being. Well, thank you, sir. Yes, if you're wondering how a 16-year-old kid in Sydney found TDC, I randomly found it while Googling Detroit after watching Hardcore Pawn.
Are you shitting me?
So he says, I now
That's
name myself
hilarious.
the Australian correspondent of the Detroit Cast, CJ. See, I figured he was an expat. I figured his dad worked for Ford or something, and he just got shipped down there.
Went to Harrison with us or something.
But my man is actually living there and just Googled Detroit.
And we came up? That's awesome.
We came up.
That's encouraging. He needs to be our on-field correspondent. We need to call him anytime something happens in Australia.
Yeah, what's going on in Australia that we would need him?
Surf competition.
Surf competition.
The Outback. I'm sure there's some shit that goes on in the Outback.
I reckon.
Yeah. Anytime something's going on in Sydney, perhaps. Maybe Melbourne. Is it Melbourne? Melbourne?
Well, we have a second installment of Finding Nemo coming up. I wonder if that has anything to do with Australia.
Well, when it premieres there, maybe we can get him on the red carpet with some credentials.
Jim writes in pretty much calling us total pussies.
I mean, this guy is such a total pussy. It's stunning.
Podcast heroes, are you all on East Cycle now? Between Mike's 100 drop bitching, great by the way, Jay moaning about not having enough sugar-free Red Bull, why bother, and E not reading the signs from the waitress. You guys are such pussies. It's incredible. Suck it up for our free's worth. God damn it!
As he's bitching about us bitching. You little woman, you're bitching about the same things we are.
Well,
Bitching about bitching.
Yeah, that's even worse. You took it a step further and wrote an email bitching about us bitching.
It's way worse.
That's way girlier, sir.
Ryan writes in. He wrote that. Hey, gentlemen and Stinksing Etard, listening to episode 528, listening to the part about the Apple iPhone unlocking controversy. So he kind of adds to what Eric was saying.
Not our Eric.
Eric Ellenbrook agrees with that and says also, and this is where it gets interesting, I think sleeping in a t-shirt or sweatwear is weird. Really?
Yeah, of course. It is weird.
It's boxer briefs or nothing. We wear clothes all day.
sir.
So when it comes time to lay down for the night, it seems obvious that you like your skin to breathe. Is that why you do it? You want your skin to breathe?
Nah, it's just unnecessary. That's what a blanket's for.
I mostly
if you
am
said
in
I don't
boxer
sleep with
briefs.
blankets, I would say, okay, well, fine, wear a t-shirt then. But you do sleep with a blanket, so you don't need the t-shirt. In the way, it's going to get crumpled up and caught in fat rolls. You can't have that. It feels like you're sleeping.
Oh,
in
it's
a
the fat roll thing, E. That's where
Feels like you're in a
that's the
streak.
disconnect.
When you wake up at 2 a.m. like this, and it's all bundled up, and
I'm
you're
not
sweating
kidding.
your ass off,
People
you're getting choked out by your own clothing.
I don't
That
get
has never
bound up in clothing.
happened to me, and yet Mike's not the only one that said it though. Listen,
Yeah.
I have never had it woke up feeling like I bound it in my clothes.
Well, it never will happen if you remove said t-shirt.
Ryan continues, your show is the best in Detroit by far. I use the Amazon link often, and they convince the wife to do so. See, that's the key, right? Have your whole household going.
Yeah, you got to run it through the wife.
Your
She's the
mother's
decision maker. Let's be honest.
your mom, your dad, your brother, sister, pass it along. It's an easy thing to
Yeah.
do. Use the Amazon link, people. I also set up recurring donation every month so that I could ensure that I'm getting my free's worth. Well, PayPal donations. By the way, Mike, I grabbed a hold of some PayPal donations.
I assume
recently.
there's a lot of like $5,000, $10,000.
Yeah.
Well, we
Oh.
mentioned Brian coming up big this month with the 500.
Yeah, probably could have done 1,000, but whatever. I guess we'll take 500.
Yeah. Travis came up big with 100. Thank you, Travis.
Hundo, all right.
Got a few 50s, but gotta wonder
So what
where
was
like,
it down to a nice shirt at Hudson's or us?
Yeah, right.
Macy's?
Yeah, you
Hudson's.
either get a shirt that you're gonna wear like 4 times, it's gonna
Yeah.
suck anyway.
Yeah.
Or you get
And
just
they get too fat to fit in.
endlessly great shows.
Yeah.
Which one
Your
do you
choice.
pay for?
Whatever.
One better than the next.
Yeah.
Or each one better than the next.
And we
He
could
took
even,
his clothing allowance for this month and decided to donate it to TDC. All right. Thank you.
I mean, I don't want to be a dick, but you know, if you're gonna donate, it's $3 enough.
Oof. Like someone gave us less than a cup of coffee.
Oh.
Wow.
$3, Mike? Is
He-
that enough?
he
It's
thinks-
recurring. I'll give him credit. It's recurring.
All right.
So you
So
gave
each month
$33.
he might as well just drop by the door and just set a coffee down. There you go, gentlemen. There's your coffee for the month. We'll see you in March.
How about 666? Oh, smart guy.
Wow.
He's giving us 666. Sign of the beast.
$666?
No, $6.60.
Yeah, I don't know.
$66.60?
$6.60.
Now, see, $66.06 would be
Yeah.
Now we're
Commendable.
talking, right?
right.
Yeah. Just move that decimal a little bit and he'd be on the right track.
Dude, we've got another 666. Wow.
Wow. we
Same
have
guy?
Some Satanists.
No, different guy.
He's doing that a day, right?
No,
Ooh. Wait.
that's a month, Mike. I'm not going to name names.
Ooh. No, I don't want you to name names. Who's doing that once? I mean, daily, yeah, 666 daily would be nice, but
What is $66 divided by what? What do you average to say? 28 days in a month, usually the average.
Then we've got a $12 donation, a recurring $12 donation, which is interesting. You don't go 10, you don't go 15, you go 12.
So we're talking like
Trying to
55
stand
cents
out.
a day here.
Hmm.
So I get 5 cents of that. You guys get 20 cents.
In all reality, appreciate the
Nice.
donations. Keep hitting the donate button. That's
Yeah.
awesome that you guys would even give us anything. So
No.
much appreciated.
Agreed.
Um, Charlotte writes in, "Hi guys, I cannot begin to tell you how much fun you bring to my days. I am a rural.
go ahead. You got it.
Rural. I'm rural. I am a rural mail carrier and spend many hours in my car listening to fine gentlemen.
MAIL?
MAIL, mail carrier. I'm home today and I decided I couldn't wait until tomorrow's to listen. Can I say that Biggie's story of the wrecked vagine? Not sure the proper spelling of that. No, I think that's right. VAGEEN.
EEN.
Yeah, that's good. And Harry Butthole pick
That was hilarious.
literally made me spit my coffee out. Harry Butthole stories are always a good time.
I got to get this
Hairy
image for you guys.
Got like a hairy butthole.
Right. I got to give this image for you guys. Dude, it was crazy.
I couldn't make it to the last meet and greet, but hope to make it to the next one. Any plans yet?
There's one on Saturday where you can come see me do comedy and laugh tracks and nobody.
There you go.
There you go. What time is that?
8 o'clock.
Thanks
Look
for
at
the
that.
last guys. Charlotte. P.S. Jay, leave Biggie alone.
Lots of women
Another
say that.
chick, bleeding heart chick.
Yeah.
No idea how it is to sit next to this guy. He's awful. He's repulsive.
Yeah, he is a monster.
P.S.
No doubt about
I
it.
use the Amazon link all the time. Well, thank you, Charlotte.
Amazon.
Very
Amazon.
important to us.
Amazon.
Robin writes in. I got the
dog's girlfriend.
Cadogs Robin.
no. I got the as my text notification sound.
No.
Can you
Oh.
imagine that?
What's her number? I want to text her
That'd be
every
brutal.
5 minutes.
I laugh out loud all day. Next I'm doing, where are my glasses? All of you make my whole day. Thank you. I use the Amazon link every day. I catch you on Periscope every time. Wish they were longer. Have the best
Amazon.
day you all deserve. Robin. Tell E. I'm following him on Twitter.
Nice. And we deserve a good day, she said.
Ah,
we
she's the
deserve
one.
it.
Dude,
She's
it's
the
a
one
good
that's
day.
following you, E.
Yeah, now I know who's reading all of my tweets.
We'll save the rest for tomorrow, Mike.
All right. Yeah. Let's call it a day then. I don't have anything else to get to. E is going to be at Laugh Tracks on Saturday, as he mentioned. That should be a good gig. You got a bunch of comics coming from Grand
From
Rapids.
GR.
right?
Yeah. From GR. Yeah.
That'll
No,
be
it
fun.
should be fun though.
Hopefully you get a good crowd out there for that. Jay will be there, right?
Yeah, maybe.
No, you don't have to. It's fine. I don't even want you guys to come.
Anyway, all right. We'll call it a day there. Thanks, everybody, for hanging with us. And in all seriousness, thanks for donating whatever you can. If someone's donating $3, that's awesome. It probably means that's all they can give, and all of it's appreciated. So with that, we'll call it a day. We'll see you guys tomorrow for an all-new edition. We'll see you then.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.
Listen to God, watch you grow. You know not what remains shallow. All just stay.